He needs it back. Man from the media down there.
I have no idea. Right there?
No, it's the one that I was looking at when you were talking about players' names. Maybe it wasn't ours. I thought it was. Oh, here it is. You got it.
Two minutes. They're gonna get that pin back to that guy.
Oh, he wants it back like for the game.
Like he's gonna use it.
Hey, I'll give you a little thing when I head on.
What's that?
So I can get the I forgot they were doing this.
All right, 1 minute for those of you tuning in on XRB Radio, and for those of you listening online, 1 minute before we begin tonight's broadcast. All right, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Presented by XRB Radio 1610 AM and powered by AudioSportsOnline.com. Brownsburg and Hamilton Southeastern Varsity Football is on the air. Hello again, everybody. I'm Rob Kendall, along with tonight's play-by-play broadcaster, Troy Weimer, and our cameraman, Caleb Yarling, coming to you from Hamilton, Southeastern High School, where the Bulldogs, with a record of 3-5, travel to take on the Royals, also with a record of 3-5. And of course, this is a joint broadcast for us tonight. We thank our friends at Hamilton Southeastern High School, in addition to those at XRB Radio, who have made tonight's broadcast possible. And with that, we do welcome tonight's play-by-play broadcaster in. Shane Ray says hello, and we'll say hello to our play-by-play broadcaster, Troy Weimer. Troy?
Thank you, Rob, very much. And hello also to Shane Ray back at the studio, in quotes, as we like to call it, during our IHSAA Hoosier Crossroads Conference football broadcast tonight. We're about 13 minutes away from the kickoff. It is senior night at Royal Stadium here at IU Health Field on the campus of Hamilton Southeastern High School in Fishers, Indiana. And as Rob mentioned, both of these teams sit at 3-5. They are identical records and sit next to each other in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Sectional play will start next week, and Brownsburg will be facing Avon. That game is in Avon. And I believe HSE plays Fishers. Is that correct?
Yes, they do. That is correct. We will have both broadcasts. We will have the Avon broadcast for you and Brownsburg broadcast Friday night. Brian Scott, Dave Shelbourne, and I assume Chris Worley will be out there doing that one. And I believe it'll be Caleb and myself heading to Fishers for the Hamilton Southeastern Royals taking on the Fishers Tigers. So
exactly. I will be vacationing with the family.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
For fall break, the end of fall break there for the kids who go back to school. So I will not be in the booth for the first round of sectional play, but look forward to it. Always a great time in the fall here in Indiana. As we said, it's senior night here at Hamilton Southeastern. The crowd is filtering in. Someone stole our sunshine from earlier today. I commented numerous times today what a beautiful day it was and what a beautiful night it would be for football. It has gotten cloudy. That front has moved in. It's gotten a little bit chilly. It is also pajama night for the HSE student section, so we're hoping that they wore their footed pajamas and their undershirts and all that stuff so they can stay warm as well. So about 12 minutes from kickoff, and we'll be back in just a few moments with HSE and Brownsburg Hoosier Crossroads Conference football live from Fishers.
Hey, let's thank a few of our sponsors here, Troy, and we start with Hendricks Regional Health. They say, get back to what you love. Attend their next joint pain talk Thursday, October 23rd with orthopedic expert Shane Summers. Register at hendricks.org/talks. Also want to thank our friends at McDonald's, host of the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, taped every Wednesday live from a different McDonald's location. Our final show of the year will be coming up this Wednesday, and it will be back here in beautiful Brownsburg as Chris and JP will head out to one of the Brownsburg McDonald's, and we'll talk local sports. Of course, there are 4 great McDonald's locations in Brownsburg and Avon, 2 in Brownsburg, 2 in Avon. 2 in Avon, one located off 267 next to Kroger, and one off Rockville Road right next to Meyer. In Brownsburg, they're located on Main Street right by Marsh and right next to 74 off 267. So stop in and see our friends from McDonald's, hosts of the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. And I also want to thank Ivy Tech Community College. Offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech. And before we turn this back over to Troy, we notice that some of you who are watching the video feed tonight on audiosportsonline.com, if you see the reflection, that's us. Our camera's up next to the window, and as these lights dim down, we believe the reflection will contain itself a little bit. So in the meantime, as you can see the reflection, that you get to see a little bit of us, Troy.
You do. You get to see me drinking hot chocolate because it's gotten a little bit chilly here. And HSC dance troupe is on the field at midfield. That means we're getting in the 10-minute mark until kickoff. And it's been a great season, Rob. We, of course, both of these fan bases have hoped for maybe a better performance this year. Brownsburg came in with, I think, probably a lot of promise that people were looking into with the emergence of Hunter Johnson, the quarterback, just a sophomore, and Tokes Akinrabadi, the running back, who has just been outstanding this season. But the record at 3-5, a lot of people thought that maybe they would turn out a little bit better than that. Hamilton Southeastern also which has had a lot of luck in past seasons in football, a lot more success than this year. They ran into the Fishers Tigers in a big way and earlier this season, and the Fishers kind of ran away with that game in front of a huge crowd here at HSE that night. So both of these teams will go into one of these teams will go into sectional play with 4 wins. The other will go in with 6 losses at a record of 3-6. One will be 4-5, and that's where these two teams stand. But when you get into sectional play, really anything can happen, and I think we saw that with Brownsburg and Avon earlier this year.
Yeah, as for those of you just tuning in, don't forget, if you are tuned in on XRB Radio tonight, you can head over to audiosportsonline.com, watch the live video feed, and check out tonight's broadcast. We do welcome in all of our Hamilton Southeastern fans, of course, also one of our great schools that we cover. And I think we're going to have this national anthem coming up here, Troy, so let's rise for that.
Okay. Senior members of the HSE mixed choir will be singing our national anthem. Special thanks to the senior members of the Hamilton Southeastern Boys and Girls Choir. Their rendition of the national anthem, that was excellent. And as we do always get an excellent rendition of the national anthem from our high school students or across the Hoosier Crossroads Conference for our games, whether they be Brownsburg or Hamilton Southeastern or wherever. So we're about 6.5 minutes away from kickoff. You're listening to Hamilton Southeastern and Brownsburg Bulldog football. It's Hoosier Crossroads Conference football on XRB Radio and Radio Brownsburg.
Hey, when plumbing problems arise, you want a plumbing company with an impressive truck or fancy jingles? Of course not. You want your problems solved quickly and at an affordable price. At Westside Plumbing, we understand you want a plumber who is honest, respectful, and knows how to fix the problem. Westside Plumbing provides fast, professional plumbing service 7 days a week. When you invite Westside Plumbing into your home, be assured they'll be knowledgeable, timely, and will give your home the respect it deserves. Honesty, integrity, and respect, that's what you get when you call Westside Plumbing at 445-8399. That's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County. And at this time, we do want to welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, a guy who's done an outstanding job this year, his first year with us here on Audio Sports Online, Caleb Yarling. Caleb, how's it going?
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. You know, even though it is a little bit of a chilly winter day, isn't that the perfect day for football, especially here in central Indiana? The last week, the senior day here for Hamilton Southeastern with a beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and now we're about to get serenaded with some great music from the HSE band. It's an absolutely fantastic night. I appreciate you two gentlemen for joining me here in Fishers, Indiana.
Yeah, so great job by Caleb this year, helping out with some of our broadcasts. We certainly appreciate that. And again, we welcome anybody that is tuned in tonight on xrbradio.com to head over to Audio Sports Online. Right now you'll see the reflections of several people in the background, and I think they're going to turn off those lights pretty soon, Troy, and hopefully you won't see us. Not that we're not nice to look at.
Well, it's like a ghost image of us, which is actually a little frightening. So,
well, this is not CBS. We should point that out to the viewers at home, that sometimes we are confined to the spaces in which we work, and/or the director, in this case, me's ability to set up and try to find the best place to set up. And find out which windows will open.
Yeah, which windows will open and where we can look and see the whole field without a big beam being in the way of the
Right.
40-yard line. Which,
So it's all a give and take here, guys. So we do appreciate that. And
this will be the last year, as you and I were talking earlier. You informed me this will be the last year of the Hamilton Southeastern Press Box as we know it. Some
Yes.
improvements to go on here at Royal Stadium and IU Health Field for HSE.
yeah, it'll be exciting as we do have those changes coming up next year, and they were talking all about that. And Troy, I'm going to play around with that camera a little bit, and so I'll let you talk a little bit about tonight's broadcast and keep the audience at home entertained.
I will do my best to do that. Let's take a look at the two teams tonight. The Hamilton Southeastern Royals are led by number 3, the junior quarterback Carter Pori. And running back, the feature running back for him tonight will be number 23, Aaron Mateo, in the backfield for the Royals. For the Brownsburg Bulldogs tonight, they're led by their quarterback, Hunter Johnson, number 15. Jose Hacker is the kicker, always seems to get involved in the offense in some shape, way, or form. Has done an excellent job kicking field goals and on kickoffs for the Bulldogs this year. Sometimes overlooked portion of the special teams, offense and defense of the football operation is the kicker, but Jose Hacker has been excellent. Tyler Kurtz, number 17. He's 6'2", 180 pounds, the wide receiver. He's a junior. Tyler Kurtz also very fast and speedy. He's a member of the state championship 4x400 relay team. And, of course, in the backfield for the Bulldogs, number 24, Togsakan Rabadi. He is 6 foot, 200 pounds, a running back. He is a junior, and we've seen Tokes go anywhere from 175 to over 300 yards this year, Rob, over the 300-yard performance coming against the Franklin Grizzly Cubs at a game we did down in Franklin. And Akram Rabadi, as a junior, already having a lot of college interest and definitely has a skill set that is just excellent as the Hamilton Southeastern Royals come onto the field in the cloud of smoke out of the helmet prop in the north end zone.
Always exciting when these high school teams come onto the field. The Royals tonight will be the home team on the scoreboard. They'll wear the home blue jerseys, gray pants, gray helmets, gray letters and numbers. The Bulldogs will be the visitors on the scoreboard. They will wear the road whites, black pants, purple helmets with purple letters and numbers. And one of these teams is going to finish the year at 4-5. One is going to finish at 3-6. So a big difference from a momentum perspective as we head into the sectional play.
I couldn't agree with you more, Rob. Nobody wants to go into the sectional weekend in high school football with a loss, especially a deflating type of loss, whether it's just getting absolutely blown out. I don't think between these two talent sets we have for tonight that'll be possible. Obviously, the key for the Bulldogs is, games that we've been a part of, or I've been a part of all season, is the passing of quarterback Hunter Johnson, but more importantly, the running of Togsakan Rabadi. And neither one of those things happen unless the Bulldogs get some good push off their offensive line, which they have struggled with all season.
Well, it's obviously a big deal that we've talked about, Brownsburg's inability to move outside the tackles, and what teams have done after about the third or fourth week, really after the Avon game, is they've started putting more guys up in the box. They've made it harder to run between the tackles, and with Brownsburg's either inability or unwillingness to move outside the tackle boxes, it's made it hard for the Bulldogs to move the ball. Keep in mind, Brownsburg at one point was 3-1 on the year, so they are on a 4-game losing streak as both set of captains now come on to the field for the coin toss for tonight's ball game.
Our captains for Hamilton Southeastern will be Tyler Janey, along with number 10, Kyle Schrank. Kyle Schrank is the tight end with getting a lot of college interest. And as Caleb was saying, has an offer from Ball State, and we believe he's accepted that offer and is possibly playing football for the Cardinals here next year.
Absolutely, and also some inside information. He's also talked about taking, at least from what I've heard, he took a college visit to Nebraska, which would be great to have an HSC football player playing the great Cornhusker basketball. So we shall see if that comes to fruition next year. Also, real quick, to get in an injury update, 2 starters for Hamilton Southeastern are out. The starting punter / defensive back, David Herman, is out this game, as well as starting offensive lineman, Ty Scholl. So hopefully we shall see how HSC makes some good in-game adjustments, something that they haven't quite done in the past, and we shall see exactly, will they learn how to make in-game adjustments so that way they can actually maybe stand a chance against a tough Fisher squad next week in sectionals.
Yeah, and obviously losing a key offensive lineman, a starting offensive lineman in football at any level is very important, and we'll see how that affects the running attack that will be led by Aaron Mateo for the Royals tonight.
So the Bulldogs are going to kick the ball off here, Troy, and it'll come out of the foot of Jose Hacker to begin tonight's contest.
Be interesting to see how the crosswind tonight also affects the passing game. If the Bulldogs especially really start to rely on that passing game, if they're having trouble getting that push on the line. The wind is coming out straight out of the west, and it's at a pretty good clip blowing across the field. So the Bulldogs will be going from north to south. They'll be kicking off. Jose Hacker, the kicker. Hamilton Southeastern will receive the kick in the south end zone, and they'll be going from right to left as your radio sits.
And we do want to say hi to our number one fans, Brian and Laura P. Trades, their little baby Neil, and their dog Jetson. So we always appreciate them tuning us in. Hello, guys, from Brownsburg.
As the Bulldogs kick off, that is a fantastic dog name, Jetson. The kickoff is down. It bounces at the 10-yard line. It's going to go out of bounds. So the Bulldogs start off the way they didn't want to, with a procedure penalty on the kickoff. And HSE will take over. No time gone. We're just underway from Royal Stadium, IU Health Field, in the campus of Hamilton Southeastern High School in Fishers, Indiana. No time off the clock. We're at 12 minutes. HSE will take over at the 35 after the kickoff by the Bulldogs. Jose Hacker, as I was touting him in the pregame, kicks it out of bounds.
Hey, the Royals fans were doing the "I believe that we will win" chant. Which is popular at sporting events. I actually did that at a trivia contest.
Did you? How did it work out?
We won.
Actually, absolutely.
We won. I waited to do it until after we won the contest.
Hamilton Southeastern comes out. They'll be in the shotgun set as Pori is in the shotgun, and the first handoff of the game goes to the running back, Aaron Mateo. He dives forward for a gain of about 5 to the 40. They're going to call it the 41-yard line, and that'll bring up second and about 4 for the Royals.
Again, if you are just tuning in tonight, thank you for joining us from Hamilton Southeastern High School. Rob Kendall is my name, your play-by-play broadcaster, Troy Weimer, color man, the wonderful and talented Caleb, doing the camera and providing insight as well.
Pori out of the shotgun. The lone back is Mateo. 2 wide receivers set to the near side. The handoff goes to Mateo. Cuts back and diving forward close to the first down. He's going to be about a yard short. It's going to bring up third and short, about 3rd and 1 for Hamilton Southeastern. 11:15 on the clock. We're just underway here in Fishers.
Now, normally I'm in Caleb's spot running the camera. This is the first time, Troy, I've not had the headset mic on. You sound even better through the traditional headphones.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Do you think that the HSE folks would like us to not say we're in Fishers since the creation of
Yes, you're in
I
HSE.
Handoff goes Mateo, diving forward across the 45 to the 47-yard line, where he is brought down. That's enough for a first down for Hamilton Southeastern. They're moving the ball well in the running game early.
And again, we do want to thank the entire Hamilton Southeastern Athletic Department, as well as Coach Scott May and everybody. Scott's done a great job on the coaches show again this year, and we certainly appreciate all their help in making these broadcasts possible.
Could not do without the support of our local high school athletic staffs, as Rob said. Out of the shotgun is Pori. Pori's going to pass this time, and he throws to the near side. That is complete to the tight end, number 10, Kyle Schrank. And Schrank dives forward. He'll be short of the first down, but it'll be very close. 2nd and 1. The clock will continue to run as he was forced out of bounds. And that'll bring up 2nd and about 1 for Hamilton Southeastern.
Hey, don't forget, if you are a fan of Brownsburg or Hamilton Southeastern tonight, we're going to have sectional play for both of these schools. Southeastern will travel to Fishers, Brownsburg to Avon, and we will have both of those broadcasts coming up next week on AudioSportsOnline.com.
Pori will take this snap under center. Mateo is the lone back, 1 receiver to each side. Pori takes a snap. Mateo with the handoff, cuts back across the grain, and he is brought down and pushed forward. And the ball, I thought the ball came loose. It did not. He was actually pushed forward by one of the offensive linemen there. There's no flag on the play.
And I believe the correct pronunciation is Matteo.
Is it Matteo?
There you go.
It is Mr. Matteo.
Well, there we go.
You should just ask the resident expert.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I did, and I thought that's what he said, but I was wrong.
That's the first mistake you've made all year, so congratulations.
Oh, it is not. I think I called one of the player from Zionsville the wrong name for about 3/4 the other night. So, so Pori is under center. Matteo takes the handoff, cuts back across the grain again, and a big push again by the Hamilton Southeastern offensive line opens up a big hole, and Matteo dives forward, and that'll bring up 2nd down and short again for HSE. And they haven't found themselves post first down with more than 5 yards to go yet here early on.
Really nice push in between the tackles so far for the Royals. They've done a great job on the line, and Brownsburg a little slow to respond. You know, we're definitely cheering for the big guy, Mr. Yip, for the Bulldogs, all 365 pounds of him, to make his way into the lineup tonight.
Yep, Matteo is the lone back. There's a fullback in, and Matteo is caught in the backfield and brought down there by number 3, Seth Bronger, for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, as you said that time, Troy, Bronger coming up and really making a nice hit and wrapping him up around the ankle, so it'll bring up a big third down for the Royals.
Checking into the game is number 4, Will Cordray. Did I pronounce that right?
Will Coudray is going to be the slot receiver, I believe, to the left. So we shall see how he comes in.
Coudray comes in. He is the wide receiver to the left. And out of the shotgun is Pori. Handoff goes to the back, cuts across the grain again. He's been doing that all the way through the first quarter. He's going to across the 10 to the 5 and pushed out of bounds there.
That was a good example, Troy, of a running back making something happen there. The initial hole was filled up pretty well by the Bulldogs, so he cut it to the near side of the field and all sorts of room to run.
At the 8:13 mark in the first quarter, will be first and goal for the Royals. Matteo with a nice run there. Matteo will remain in the game, of course, as a lone back. The fullback in the game, I believe, is number 26, Alec Jessup. Pori under center. Takes a snap. The handoff goes to Matteo, and he goes across the line for a touchdown. Hamilton Southeastern leads it 6-0.
Wow, that was just a great job by the Hamilton Southeastern line, especially those guys, those 5 guys in between the tackles there, the two tackles, the 2 guards in the center on that drive, just pushing the Bulldogs backwards, and really only one big defensive stop by Brownsburg that entire drive. Good opening drive for the Royals.
Well, and as Caleb talked about in the pregame, it's very important to talk about adjustments at length, and the Bulldogs are going to have to make adjustments off of whatever defensive strategy they took in on that drive. On to kick is number 99, Brady Hoffman. Hoffman's kick is up, and it is good. And at the 8:09 mark in the first quarter, Hamilton Southeastern on an impressive run-based touchdown drive from their own 35-yard line. They lead it 7-0.
Hey, if you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. What about taxes, child support, auditing, Social Security? It can be a bit overwhelming at times, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. The Payroll Department Incorporated can help put your mind at ease where all these problems are concerned. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years. Call today at 852-2568 or stop by the Payroll Department Incorporated, 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg. I am no Chris Worley. You know that?
Well, we would like to say hi to Chris. I know Chris is in Las Vegas at a golf tournament, but
he's playing in the golf tournament.
Playing the golf tournament.
Is he playing in the golf tournament?
I don't know.
I think he's watching the golf tournament.
He's watching the golf tournament. And but I would tell you this, he's probably listening.
Yeah, we love Chris.
Yeah.
Chris is great.
So as we said, a nice run-based offensive drive there from their own 35-yard line where it started after the procedure penalty on the kickoff. Caleb, talk about that a little bit. You know, you talked about early on, you and I were talking before we went on the air, that Matteo really had to get moving for the Royals for them to have success tonight, and obviously he did there to start the first quarter.
He had a really nice run as, obviously, Brady Hoffman kicks off the ball to Brownsburg. He had a really nice drive to start out the game, but that's been the story of HSC whenever they have hot offenses. They actually get started going with a nice run play in the beginning.
Nice return for the Bulldogs there. That's number 4, Vincent Lisman.
That is Aaron Matthews, by the way. He's a junior. It's his ninth touchdown on the year, his unofficial stat. So he's having a great year as far as running backs go. And let's see how HSU actually has a couple new starters in, one of them including they have 2 sophomore defensive backs, Austin Holzum, who's number 13, and Brock Burns, who's 32, who look like they're going to be a solid future for the Hamilton Southeastern Royals.
So Hunter Johnson, that in the shotgun, the sophomore quarterback for the Bulldogs. The Tokes Hockman by the lone back, and the first play of the game goes to Tokes. Cuts back across went to the right, cut back to his left, and dives forward to the 35-yard line at a gain of about 7 on the play for the Bulldogs, and that's what they wanted to start off with.
I like that call there, Troy, because it's a stretch play. It goes outside the tackle, and then it gives the running back the option to cut it back like he did right there. It's so hard to go from inside to out. It's much easier to go from outside to back in.
7:38, the clock running. The Royals lead it 7-0 here early in the first quarter. Johnson will be out of the shotgun. Akinrabadi is the lone back. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. The Bulldogs run that almost pistol-style offense. And flags will fly on the play, and I don't think they got the playoff.
It is interesting in high school football, depending on the newness and the advancement of technology at the stadium. Some stadiums, such as Hamilton Southeastern, do have that 25-second clock, and some that do not. It's in the official's head.
So that is a play clock violation, delay a game on the Bulldogs. That will push them back 5 yards, and that will bring up 2nd and 8 from 2nd and 3. The ball will be at their own 30-yard line.
An issue with HSE this year, real quick, is that when they get the penalty against the other team, they always allow a big play. So let's see if that happens here.
Johnson takes the snap. Akron Rabadi will take the handoff, and he dives forward across the 35, 36, probably to about the 37-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 3 for the Bulldogs. 7-0 early on. Hamilton Southeastern leads it. Only one pass attempt on the touchdown drive by the Royals to start the first quarter. Johnson is in. Of course, he's the quarterback out of the shotgun. Akron Rabadi is the lone back. 2 wide receiver set, 1 to each side. Handoff goes to Tokes again. He's hit in the backfield and dropped. And there's that push that we talked about.
That didn't fool anybody.
Sure did not. And the offensive line gets pushed back on their heels. And Akron Rabadi is tackled for a loss. And that's going to bring up 4th down. And the Bulldogs will punt on their first possession.
Great play by Colin Miller, who so far through these past 2 games, and we're less than half a quarter into this. 3 sacks, 10 tackles through a game and a quarter. That's pretty impressive for the junior middle linebacker.
Yes, it is.
And as we alluded to on that opening drive offensively and now defensively, the Royals' interior line winning the battle both ways.
The punt is almost blocked. It is going to be received at the 34-yard line.
Brock Burns.
Diving forward to about the 37. And that is Brock Burns, as you said there. Brock Burns receives the kick. 5:41 left to go in the first quarter. Hamilton Southeastern leads Brownsburg 7-0.
All right, let's thank our good friend on our Brownsburg side, Pete Fay, your State Farm agent. What is a good neighbor? It's someone nearby who helps make your life a little easier. State Farm agent Pete Fay, he takes the time to understand your insurance and financial needs. So whether you're preparing for your child's college education or planning for your retirement, get the kind of help you'd expect from a good neighbor. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield, Suite 100 in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Matteo in at the running back position. Pori the quarterback. Pori will go under center. Matteo is the lone back. The big jumbo set in for Hamilton Southeastern. And the handoff goes to the wide receiver who goes in motion, coming back to the near side. And he's got some space across midfield. Caught from behind, but breaks the tackle. He's in the clear to the 40, down to the 30. Diving forward, and no, he's not brought. Yeah, now he is brought down. I tell you what, he was chased around there by about 10 people. And that is number 4. Is that Will? No, who was that?
Number 2 for the Hamilton Southeastern Royals.
Chris Ford.
And it was almost there, like you remember in flag football where they were trying to grab the flag instead of tackle the guy.
I actually thought he was down once at the 30. He was not. He got 6 more yards after there was a gang of white jerseys around him.
Yeah, that was just some bad tackling by the Bulldogs that time.
Chris Ford with a nice run on the motion play from the receiver slot. 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 24. Matteo dives forward to the 20.
I'm going to put that up there. That's causing a little bit of static.
The technology.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, as I said, this is you're at the behest of your director, which in this case it's tough luck for you because that's me.
4:51 to go. 7-0. Hamilton Southeastern leads it here in the first quarter.
Hamilton Southeastern obviously have a great opening quarter, but so did they against Cathedral, and then Cathedral romped them to go win, score 41 points. Let's see what they're going to do here with this jumbo set.
Pori puts the tight end in motion, and he's going to throw the football across the middle, complete to the tight end. No, that's not. That's the wide receiver, number 84. Is that Braden Arnold?
Braden Arnold, yes, the resident backup tight end for Hamilton Southeastern.
Nice hit that time by the Bulldogs in the secondary, but the Royals will take it because it was good enough for a first down.
So Schrank went in motion. I thought he was going to cut back across the middle, but it was not him. It was Braden Arnold with the reception. That brings up another first down for HSE. It's 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 11. Royals lead at 7-0, and now it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the field. Oh, the official is moving some photography staff from HSE back away from the sideline.
Well, it's been all Royals so far. If you are just tuning in, 4:12 left to play first quarter, 7-0 Hamilton Southeastern with the ball.
Corey under center, takes the snap. Matteo takes the handoff, cuts back to the near side again, and he's down at about the 5-yard line. Diving forward, let's see if they give him the 4. They're going to mark him down at the 5-yard line. The Royals can get a first down. First down marker is at about the 1-yard line. So that'll bring up 2nd and 4 for Hamilton Southeastern.
Well, again, that battle just being won for the Hamilton Southeastern offensive line. And they've got some bigs, Troy. They are outsizing the Bulldogs.
They're outsizing and out-pushing him. The flip goes to Matteo, diving forward, and did he get it in? They're saying he did not. He's going to be down at about the 1-yard line, but I think that's going to be enough for a first down, and that'll bring up 1st and goal from the 1-yard line for HSE. Let's see if they move the sticks or not. Or in this case, they just be laying the sticks down.
Yeah, they have not moved yet, so that means it would be third down and very short. And hey, if you're Brownsburg, now they will leave them up. They will not measure, so they must have been a sizable distance short. Tough for us to tell. They're on the.
Well, now they're having a discussion on the near side. The head official is, and they're going to leave it at third down. So it's going to be third and about an inches, literally, for Hamilton Southeastern from the Brownsburg 1-yard line.
I say here, if you're HSC, you've been actually right outside the tackles, which is awesome because that's been one of Carter Perry's strong suits. I say you actually run it in between the tackles, right up their gut. The linemen for HSC have been overpowering them. The linemen for HSC, which probably amount to the size of about a Volkswagen Beetle and a half, right? Probably.
Yeah. Well, and the push they've been getting in the running game so far here in the first quarter. The handoff goes to Matteo, and he dives across, and he's going to be.
There it is.
Well,
touchdown.
There it is. Touchdown. Touchdown for Hamilton Southeastern at the 3:06 mark. Matteo with his 2nd touchdown of the game, and that gives him, I believe that's his 10th on the season. Is that correct?
That is his 10th on the season.
So he had his 9th on the first drive of the game for Hamilton Southeastern. This drive looked eerily similar. Started about the same spot and ended the same way. And on to kick for Hamilton Southeastern, number 99, Brady Hoffman. The extra point is up, and it is good. 3:06 left to play in the first quarter. Hamilton Southeastern leads Brownsburg 14-0. You're listening to Hoosier Crossroads Conference Football on XRBRadio.com and AudioSportsOnline.com.
Hey, Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody. Pizza with more toppings than you can count, including specialty pizzas, 5 different kinds of calzones, breadsticks and cheese bread with 2 kinds of dipping sauce, all made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough. And don't forget Panuni's Jumbo Wings with 12 kinds of sauce. Mention the XRB and get 10% off your order. Open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday open till 11. Dine in, carry out, or free delivery. Call 286-3500. Panuni's Pizza and Wings, 1447 East Main in Brownsburg.
Too bad I live up here on the north side. Maybe I'm going to have to take a field trip down and get some of those delicious wings, as you were talking about.
We feel like that'd be a good decision for you, Caleb.
HSC here continuing to obviously have nice ball play. Aaron Matteo, though, one thing that I've noticed is he's very streaky running back, which is obviously good when he's hot. But when he's cold, he's super cold. So we'll see here if Brownsburg makes an adjustment, which HSC, like I've been telling my co-partner here, has floundered when they make adjustments. But Brownsburg showing nothing so far.
3:06 to play in the first quarter. As Caleb said there, the Bulldogs needed some adjustments. They trailed the Hamilton Southeastern Royals 14-0. That kick is across the goal line in the north end zone for a touchback. So the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20.
Hey, we want to say thanks to Shane Ray back in the XRB Radio studios. Doing his usual great job keeping an ear on us tonight. And that the XRB Radio will have the Brownsburg sectional game next week. And then, Troy, it's almost time for basketball season.
It is. Actually, my son and I on our way up here, the rush hour commute from Brownsburg to Fishers had some time in the car, and we were Ben was asking me when basketball season was going to actually start.
I was gonna say you probably had time to tell me your life story going from Brownsburg to Fishers at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, not that he's never heard it in the 10 years he's been alive, but Johnson's going to throw the football under pressure, releases it out to the receiver at the 20, and driven out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
That was Gill, I think.
That is number 5, Carson Gill for the Bulldogs on the reception.
Ryan Clemens of HSC with the tackle, along with Tyler Janey, the former quarterback for HSU, led him to a whopping 1-4 record. Now he's become kind of an everyman. Became a fullback, plays defensive back, plays linebacker, and now he's a punter. He's like the Ben Zobrist
Been
of
well said,
football,
Caleb.
if you will.
Johnson will be in the shotgun. Two-back set. And the handoff is going to go to Gill, and Gill is met at the line of scrimmage. Akim Rabadi not involved in that play other than to look as a decoy coming off the right side of the tackles. So that is no gain or short gain for the Bulldogs. They're going to call it 3rd and 4. They'll have the ball at their own 26.
Do you expect them on this 3rd down and 4? I mean, it's not like it's a lot. It's not like it's a lot, but it's not like it's small either. Do you expect them to get this young man's arm going here on this cold night?
I don't know. I think that as good as Hunter Johnson has looked at times, and there are times he has not looked that well. Akim Rabadi has been just their workhorse all year. So we'll see if they can get him outside the tackles here. And they are going to throw the football. And it is over the head of the intended receiver, and that was intended for Carson Gill. So Carson Gill involved in all 3 offensive plays. All of them come up a little bit short, and it'll be 4th down and 4 for the Bulldogs, and they'll be forced to kick again. They have not been across their own 30-yard line in their first 2 possessions.
And, Gill has shown some signs of really great play this year, and I'm sure they're trying to get him involved in the offense a little bit to take that pressure off Akin Rabadi, but also to reward him for some of those efforts when he's filled in for Tokes.
I think one of the best ways for the Bulldogs to get their running game going tonight for Brownsburg is to get that another lot of pressure on the punt there, and this one is going to be fielded at the 45. And getting outside to the 50, across the 45 to the 40, and showing a ton of speed. That is number 32, Brock Burns for Hamilton Southeastern.
Several late flags come flying in at the 44-yard line, and whatever it was, holding.
The booth says holding against
it's all on
HSE.
Caleb. If it's not holding, it's all Caleb's fault.
I would tend to agree with him. And there is some discussion going on by Coach Comer and his staff on the far sideline.
Possible block in the back as well. It was right here, right where Brock Burns got the ball. So
Akin Rabadi had a nice hit on the return guy. I don't know if you saw that at the end of the play. It is against the Royals, as Caleb said. Good job, Caleb.
That'll be
We've trained him well this year.
Yeah, that'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, which will push HSE from what would have been about the Brownsburg 37-yard line across the field, and they'll be on their own side at their own 48 to start this offensive series. So HSE's got good field position to start all 3 of their drives, the first 2 resulting in touchdowns. Mattio's the lone back. Pori is under center. Pori takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Mattio. He's going to throw the football way down the field, and it is going to be short of the intended receiver, number 4, Will Cordray.
Step for step down the sidelines.
He was defended by number 4, Vincent Lisbon, for the Bulldogs.
That was tough for Will Cudray on that one. He was covered very well by that Brownsburg defensive back.
And actually, I think that was Victor Englima for the Bulldogs, number 6.
Oh, it was number 6.
Who had him stride for stride there, so good job by Englima.
I will tell you this. I believe that crosswind we talked about before the game started had something to do. That pass was up in the air, and it looked like that the intended receiver, Cudray, had a step on him, and the ball just kind of died and got pushed back toward the middle of the field. And they're going to throw the football again, this time complete to the far side receiver, and diving forward across the 45 to the 44-yard line. We'll get eyes on who that was from here. I believe that's number 85. Is that Greg Miller?
85, Greg Miller. Yeah, looks about right. The junior wideout.
So pass complete to Miller, gets him short of the first down. But once again, HSC's got 3rd and short. It'll be 3rd and 2 from the Brownsburg 44-yard line. Pori takes a snap. Mattio diving forward, and he's got enough for the first down, and Hamilton Southeastern is in business again with a new set of downs.
HC
Go ahead. Under a minute in the first quarter.
HSC 48.4 seconds to be exact left on the clock here as they're taking out Will Cudray here. I'm not quite sure why. He's obviously the second best wide receiver on the squad currently, and next year when he's a senior, there's a good chance he'll be starting next year as Hamilton Southeastern gets ready with a 1st down and 10. Maybe they'll throw on another score on the scoreboard.
1st and 10 from the Brownsburg 42.
Looks like Ryan Echeverria in motion.
Pori takes a snap, and Mattio diving forward to almost the 30-yard line. maybe about the 31 of the Bulldogs, and they're going to spot it at the 31, and that's enough for another first down.
Well, they've thrown the ball a couple times, Troy, but at this point you say, why throw it? The Bulldogs,
two touchdown lead.
Yeah, and the Bulldogs have just been unable to stop the Royals at all on the run so far.
Ball will be at the 31, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. That will be, well, they're going to have to snap the ball. There's about a second differential between the play clock and the game clock to end the first quarter. See if they take a shot here. Number 10, Kyler Schrank, is the wideout. It looks like the quarterback was going to think about running the football, and he throws it into the ground. That's going to be an incomplete pass. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for HSE. When we come back, so the end of the first quarter here from IU Health Field and the campus of Hamilton Southeastern High School in Fishers, Indiana, the HSE Royals lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs 14-0.
Hey, running out of space, tired of the clutter, but don't want to part with your possessions? We have a solution for that, and it's Northfield Self-Storage in Brownsburg. Whether you need a little extra space or larger space, our storage units range from 5x10 to 10x30, and they'll surely take care of your needs. We also carry packing supplies such as boxes, tape, bubble wrap, and a whole lot more. Come see Northfield Self-Storage in U-Haul at 1530 West Northfield Drive in Brownsburg, open 7 days a week. Game reset for you as we're set to begin the second quarter. The Bulldogs trail at 14-0 against the Hamilton Southeastern Royals. Rob Kendall is my name. Troy Weimer, your play-by-play broadcaster for the evening, and on commentary and the camera, our wonderful, very talented intern Caleb. Good job, Caleb.
Well, I appreciate that. You're speaking wonders about me. I definitely will put this on my resume someday. Which I'll definitely put this on my resume.
Put on your resume. Just don't say that Rob and I were involved.
Yeah. You'll want to leave our names out of it.
Second quarter about to get underway. The Royals will have the football at the Brownsburg 31. It's 2nd and 10 following an incompletion to end the first quarter. They lead it 14-0. Pori takes the snap. He's going to throw the football, looking downfield, going across the middle, and it is almost caught. A nice one-handed effort there. That's number 4, Will Cordray.
Will Cordray on that tough attempt to catch the ball. Interesting to note that he was my neighbor growing up, number 4, Will Cordray. And I actually used to beat him in football, and obviously the tables have turned a little bit since then. But that was a tough, let me tell you something, that was a nice play by Carter Pori with all this crosswind. And we shall see how Will Cordray comes back and gets that, because that was right in his hands. The only thing I'll say is that the DB pushed off on him, so I'm not quite sure if that'd be good enough for a roughing the receiver, but we'll see.
Pori out of the shotgun this time. Hamilton Southeastern firmly in control. They lead it. He's going to throw the football, and it is almost picked off. It was kind of a jump ball over on the 20-yard line. Intended for Cudray.
Nice defense there by Noah Devney for the Bulldogs, getting a hand in there on it. Good job to break up the pass without interference. So it'll bring up a 4th down and 10 for the Royals. Looks like they're going to go for it.
As they probably should. They lead it 14-0.
See, it's interesting here. Their kicker has got a really great leg, and there's actually, believe it or not, a chance he could make it from this far. I'm surprised they're not giving Brady Hoffman a chance here, who has been probably, if you take into account the full season, the only consistent offensive performer. So a little bit of a head-scratcher here for Coach May, but let's see if it pays off.
Pori will be out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. He takes the snap. He's going to throw the football. Gets it across the middle, and he overthrew the intended receiver, number 10, Kyle Schrank. He got a hand up, little extracurricular activity, a pushing and shoving there with Schrank and number 19 for the Bulldogs, Noah Devney. 11:48 to play. We're in the second quarter. Hamilton Southeastern leads it 14-0, and they turn the ball over on downs to the Bulldogs. Brownsburg will take over at their own 31-yard line, and they have to get something offensively going at this point.
Hey, don't forget, Bulldogs fans, if you're listening or watching on the Brownsburg side, the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show will be back in Brownsburg this coming Wednesday at the Brownsburg on Main Street by Marsh. So head on out 7 o'clock and watch the live taping with interviews with local coaches and student athletes.
Hunter Johnson out of the shotgun. Akim Rabadi takes a snap, gets around the far side, across the 40-yard line, burst of speed across midfield, and pushed out of bounds at about the 47 of Hamilton Southeastern. So a nice run there for Tokes Akim Rabadi, and the Bulldogs have their first offensive first down of the game.
You know, and we, of course, do these weekly coaches shows, and one of my favorite guys to interview each week is Plainfield head coach Brian Woodard, and he has a phrase he calls guys like Akin Rabadi dudes. They're dudes. They're out there, and that was a dude move right there. A couple stiff arms, some high stepping, and a great run by Akin Rabadi.
You know, he has been so fun to watch this year, but next season, a senior year, is just going to be fantastic. Johnson takes the snap. Akin Rabadi gets the ball again on the handoff, diving forward just to the left of center across the 45 to about the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 2 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 8 from the HSE 43.
Let me tell you something. That fella's rocking the HSE offensive line right now. Their composure's got to be a little bit rattled after being in such in control for that first quarter. They're now, for the first time, I believe, in Hamilton Southeastern territory.
First time on the other side of the field, as Caleb said. 2nd and 8 from the 43. Johnson takes the snap, and the handoff this time goes to, I believe is that number 9?
No, it's Gill.
It is Gill.
Went with the offset eye that time, and that's a bit unusual. Usually they go with the single back formation with Akin Rabadi, the lone man back there, but Gill once again getting rewarded for some good play this season, and he does have that nice burst of speed, as we saw right there, brings up a 3rd and short.
It is number 5, Carson Gill. He's 5'10", 180 pounds. The running back, he's only a sophomore as well.
A lot of young players for this Brownsburg team.
The very
Lots
young
of
team.
Players.
Not a lot of seniors, graduated and left the squad. Handoff goes to Akin Rabadi. He's caught in the backfield and dropped for a loss of about 1. One of those key defensive players, as seniors are just a senior locker room leader that the Bulldogs lost, is Chase Dutra. Dutra having a pretty successful and notable season for the Indiana Hoosiers down in Bloomington.
He'll be there tomorrow.
I will be there tomorrow. Homecoming tomorrow, Indiana and Michigan State. That's a 3:30 kickoff from Memorial Stadium.
And they're on their 9th quarterback. So
yeah, we got the freshman quarterback tomorrow, starting tomorrow. Xander Diamond is his name. Handoff. He fakes the handoff, and the pass is complete to Tyler Kurtz. And he is brought down at the 21, a first down for the Bulldogs.
Real quick drop there. Good job getting rid of the ball quick. Kurtz went up with both hands. Nice catch. First down, Bulldogs.
Kind of surprised it took this long for them to get Kurtz kind of involved, especially after giving up 2 quick touchdowns. As we mentioned in the opening remarks of the broadcast, Tyler Kurtz, a member of the state championship 4x400 relay team. They were recognized at a home game a few weeks ago. A lot of speed, and he's shown to have great hands. Handoff goes inside again this time. That's number 5, Carson Gill, on the carry.
It's the same drive here for the Bulldogs. It's really one of their first ones of the game, and it is their first one of the game for that matter. And one nice thing about this is even if you don't get points, Southeastern does not have the football.
That is correct. And they are chewing up the clock. 9:19 to play, and the clock is running. Bulldogs need some points out of this, and a touchdown would make Coach Comer and his staff a lot happier than a field goal. So Johnson in the shotgun again. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Akin Rabadi's the lone back. They fake the handoff, and he's in trouble. He got away from the defenseman for the Hamilton Southeastern defensive line, and he turns what should have been about a 5 or 6 yard loss into negligible no gain.
Missed block there. Somebody on the right side of the Brownsburg line. I'm going to guess it was the tackle. Didn't sustain that block long enough, and Hunter Johnson tried to roll out, and there was a defender right there waiting for him.
I got to tell you, from what I said earlier, and they got to get Tyler Kurtz more involved in this offense. They've only targeted him once. He made a great reception for a first down. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Johnson's going to pass, rolls to his left, under pressure, looking, throws, and it is complete to Kurtz. Getting forward, and he's short of the first down, but he does get out of bounds. And now the Bulldogs have a decision to make, and I think they got to go for it. Hunter Johnson's going to trot over to the far sideline to talk about it, and they are going to kick the football.
Smart idea there, obviously. Just anything right now to get on the board. And a good job by them by killing it easily over 4 minutes. So let's see here. HSC, again, having issues not blocking out that guy like you were talking about. So, again, they're continuing to not make adjustments in game.
So it'll be a 34-yard field goal here, Troy.
Jose Hacker on to kick. He's a right-footed kicker from the near hash. The kick is up, and it is wide to the right. It is. It is no good. That is not what the Bulldogs needed, is to come up with nothing on that drive.
Had the distance.
But yeah, he did have the distance. Pushed it a little far right from that near hash mark. Of course, the wider hash marks in high school football. So at the 8:46 mark in the second quarter, Hamilton Southeastern leads it 14-0. after a nice drive there, led by the running attack of Toksak and Rabati, and Tyler Kurtz with 2 nice receptions, but the Bulldogs come up empty.
If you're HSE, you got to breathe a sigh of relief, because one thing that this HSE team has lacked in years past is mental composure of whenever they have a letdown or a mishap. And that field goal, unfortunately, I think gives HSE a little bit of a chutzpah to inspire themselves and not hang their heads this low this early.
HSE will come out. They'll take over at the 20. That's where the ball is spotted after the missed field goal. Once again in motion and taking the handoff is number 2, Chris Ford. From the far wide receiver position, comes in motion, takes the handoff. Back around to the near side. And a gain of about 8 on the play. That's going to make it, they're going to give them 9. 2nd and 1 from their own 29.
Hey, don't forget, if you are a fan of Brownsburg or Hamilton Southeastern, we're going to have both your sectional games coming up next Friday night. Southeastern at Fishers. Caleb and I will be out there with that one. Brownsburg at Avon. Brian Scott, Chris Worley, and Dave Shelbourne will have that game for you.
Matteo takes the handoff, diving across the 30, and he has enough for the first down. Another first down for Hamilton Southeastern. Matteo with a short gain there, but he will pile on the yardage a little bit here in the first half, as the Bulldogs have not had an answer for him defensively whatsoever. It's about last drive, a nice drive by the Bulldogs. They come up with a little bit of an answer to their running game, get a couple of nice receptions by Tyler Kirsch, but they come up empty on the missed field goal. Pori out of the shotgun. Matteo takes the handoff and dives forward across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. .740 left to play in the first half. HSE leads at 14-0. Clock running. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5 from their own 36 for HSE.
Ricky Clark, big number 95 in there, moving some bodies, and Ricky Clark listed as 5'10", 295. I'm guessing he's above 295 now.
I'll give you that. The handoff goes to, and a big hit, the line of scrimmage. He spins off of it.
What a run.
Matteo, he's not going to go down. He's still not down. Dives across and gets 5 more yards after about the 3rd contact. He gets away from that tackler and dives forward for about 5 and enough for the first down again for HSE.
Just some really bad tackling by Brownsburg right there. I mean, great effort by Matteo, but Brownsburg, just not wrapping up. Guys looking at each other.
Really lacking the ability to kind of drive and finish the play defensively for the Bulldogs there. I think we've seen that on occasion throughout the season.
And that's the sort of thing that'll drive Brett Comer crazy.
6:58, 14-0 HSE here in the second quarter. Pori will be under center. The fullback is in along with the running back, Matteo. And they're going to get a procedure penalty, I think, or maybe someone called a timeout. I don't see a flagged anywhere. It's going to be timeout Hamilton Southeastern. So timeout on the field. 6:46 left to play in the first half. Hoosier Crossroads Conference football on xrbradio.com and audiosportsonline.com. The HSE Royals lead the Bulldogs of Brownsburg 14-0.
Well, let's go ahead and thank our friends at Hendricks Regional Health. They say get back to what you love. Attend their next joint pain talk this Thursday, October 23rd with orthopedic expert Shane Summers. Register at hendricks.org/talks. And Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
6:46 left to play in the first half. 14-0. Hamilton Southeastern leads Brownsburg. We are live from Royal Stadium, IU Health Field, at Hamilton Southeastern High School in Fishers, Indiana. Little Hoosier Crossroads Conference football conference matchup. Both of these teams come in tonight at 3-5. This is the last regular season game. They will start sectional play on Friday. Pori takes the handoff. He's going to throw the football. He's got a man wide open across the middle of the field, and it is caught and brought down at the 15-yard line is number 2, Chris Ford.
Wow, let me tell you something. I'll tell you what's great and what's bad about Chris Ford real quick. Chris Ford's absolutely outstanding when he gets the ball and he gets an open field. He's easily, by far, one of the quickest football players in the entire Hoosier Crossroads Conference. The only issue is when he gets open. He very rarely gets open because teams know how fast he is, and they easily put 2 defensive backs on him every time, which opens up, obviously, an opportunity for Will Kudre, but let me tell you something, nobody can equal that speed that Chris Ford has.
Chris Ford broke away from the line of scrimmage there, and nobody had, as you said, Caleb, an answer for him in his speed. Raised his hand. He was wide open. Now a quick pass to Ford again. Diving forward, trying to get in the end zone, but he stood up by a host of Brownsburg defenders. The pass is completed. It's enough for a first down. Short of the goal line. That'll put the ball, it looks like at about maybe the 2-yard line.
It is interesting how this team regressed is not the right word, but has just not continued to hold up since that Avon game. I mean, they played so well, especially in the interior line, blocking and really controlling the line of scrimmage. And it just seems like these last 4 or 5 games, this will be a 5th game now, that they have just really struggled, Troy, to win that battle inside the line of scrimmage and put pressure on the quarterback or clog up the middle with the runs.
Like we said, defensively, that killer instinct for the Bulldogs, that desire to finish the plays. The handoff goes again to Matteo. He dives forward for the touchdown, and that's his 3rd of the game. And at least for the first half, Caleb, we've got an MVP so far. It's 20-0 HSC.
Surprised the crowd isn't chanting MVP. They're chanting everything else here at HSC IU Health Field. That's 11 touchdowns, 3 in 1 game. I believe that's a season best for him, if my memory does serve me correct, as HSC gets ready to set up the extra point here. I mean, he's really having an outstanding game. I did not expect him. Don't look at the yards for him because he's done a lot of yards. He's done a lot of horizontal yards running as the kick got blocked.
The extra point is blocked, and in there on the block, I believe, is that number 19, Noah Devney? I believe it was.
Yes, it was. Devney coming from the left end there, just shot right across, got the block. And the score is now 20-0 with 5:50 left to play. Hey, when plumbing problems arise, do you want a plumbing company with an impressive truck or fancy jingles? Of course not. You want your plumbing problem solved quickly and at an affordable price. At Westside Plumbing, we understand you want a plumber who's honest, respectful, knows how to fix your problem. Westside Plumbing provides fast, professional plumbing service 7 days a week. When you invite Westside Plumbing into your home, be assured they'll be knowledgeable, timely, and will give your home the respect it deserves. Honesty, integrity, and respect, that's what you get when you call Westside Plumbing at 445-8399. That's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County at 445-8399.
20-0. The extra point blocked there by Noah Devney on the 3rd touchdown of the game by Matteo, the running back for Hamilton Southeastern. Caleb talked about in the pregame how important it was for him to get going. He was a very streaky running back. Well, his streak has run very hot tonight as he just scores his 3rd touchdown of the game, and we have 5:50 left to go in the first half.
HSC here kicking the ball away, and it looks like it went out of bounds somewhere. Unfortunately, all 4 of my eyes could not quite see where the ball went away to.
Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a procedure penalty against Hamilton Southeastern. The Bulldogs will take over at their own 35. Well, maybe not. I guess, okay, the ball did end up crossing the goal line, so it is going to be a touchback. Thought it had circled out of bounds, but it did go across the pylon.
So far, the shutout continues here for Hamilton Southeastern. But if they continue to keep passing that wide out, I don't think the shutout will last much longer.
Hunter Johnson, the quarterback. Tokes Akinrabadi, the lone running back. Johnson's going to throw, and he throws it to Akinrabadi in the flat. A little bubble screen. He gets nowhere on the play. He's pushed out of bounds, and actually a loss of yardage on the play. And the Bulldogs come up negative on their first drive here after the Hamilton Southeastern 3rd touchdown.
Push out of bounds by the quarterback turned everything man Tyler Janey. Nice read by the HSC defense, who, even though they have 2 sophomore defensive backs in, really haven't had that much of an issue in the backfield overall. When the passes have been going on, it's really been screen passes, which is more the middle linebacker's fault for not having better coverage.
I know the wind may be a little bit of an issue, but it's not that bad of a wind. It is a crosswind across the field, but the Bulldogs are going to have to try and get something deep here to Tyler Kurtz, I believe, to try and get this game back under control. Akinrabadi takes the handoff, and he is brought down for a short gain just across the 20 to about the 21-yard line, maybe the 22.
That's a 16. He's
Oh,
at the
it's a 16. Thank you, Rob.
Rough.
I was counting the wrong way, so he's at the 16, not the 22.
At the ratio this is going, 3rd and 14 and 3rd and 10 is about the same.
About the same thing, I agree. So 3rd and 14 now for the Bulldogs. Johnson out of the shotgun. Tyler Kurtz, the receiver to the near side. 2 wide receivers to the far. Johnson's going to roll to his right, looking to pass. He does, and it is not even close. The ball hits the ground at the 30. Very well defended there by Hamilton Southeastern and number 7, Ryan Brown. So the Bulldogs will have to punt, and Rob, nothing going right offensively as a whole for the Bulldogs tonight.
Yeah, to give Hamilton Southeastern again a lot of credit, and for all our Southeastern fans watching tonight, great job by their interior line throughout the course of this game on both sides of the ball. One thing that is in their advantage, they do have a size advantage, but taking advantage of that, and nice job by them so far. And as you said, for Brownsburg, other than that one drive that ended in a missed field goal, nothing going right for them so far.
Also,
Michael Clare is going to punt for the Bulldogs. Go ahead, Caleb.
Real quick, I hate to say this. HSC actually has a couple of, on this punt return. Overall, even on defense, they have a couple, they're missing some people, including starting defensive end Bradley Murphy and the starting defensive back David Herman were both seniors. And these young kids coming up are definitely taking care of the job for HSC, who, let's be careful here, and hopefully Brownsburg does not do a trick play here.
5:02 left, and they will kick, and it is almost blocked again. A lot of push there on the line. The ball takes a HSC bounce, hits at midfield, and comes back the other way. It is down by Brownsburg at about the 42-yard line, and that's where HSC will take over. They do lead at 20-0. 4:50 left to go in the second quarter. Nothing working for the Bulldogs so far.
Again, if you're just tuning in tonight, as Troy said, 4:50 left to play. Second quarter, 20-0. Hamilton Southeastern. Rob Kendall is my name. Your play-by-play announcer for tonight is Troy Weimer and Caleb Yarling on the camera and adding commentary as well. Thanks for joining us from Hamilton Southeastern High School. And for those of you tuned in on xrbradio.com, don't forget you can also head over to audiosportsonline.com. Check out the live video webcast of tonight's broadcast.
Pori comes in as a quarterback out of the shotgun. No running back in the set. Puts in motion, and the handoff will go to Matteo across the 40, and there's going to be a flag thrown, probably a holding penalty against HSC. Matteo lined up as a wide receiver in the slot that time. Came in motion, took the handoff for a gain of about 3, but we'll see what the penalty is.
I think it's going to be holding against HSC, but don't quote me on that.
You know, one of the cool things about this field turf is when these officials throw the flags, they bounce.
Come a long way still since AstroTurf. So
yes.
Where the players actually bounced off of the AstroTurf. It is holding its HSC. Caleb calls it correctly.
Now, Troy, we should point out you are sporting your Kansas City Royals hoodie.
I am. This is a gift from my son and daughter for my birthday. And
Which you did not spend with me this year.
I did not this year. Those of you who don't know, me and Chris Worley and Rob often talk about our favorite teams. Rob, a big Bears fan, but also a Colts fan, of course. Myself, a lot of big fan of local teams. The handoff goes to Matteo. He's caught in the backfield, but gets away from the tackler across midfield to the 45 and still driving, and he's going to be really close to another first down.
Two guys had him in the backfield for Brownsburg. Neither one wrapped him up. And one thing Brownsburg's not doing, and it was evident on that play, they're not swarming to the football. They're not getting help when one guy hits him. You know, oftentimes you'll see 2-3 guys rush to the football, and Brownsburg's just not getting that tonight.
No answer whatsoever for Matteo. As we were saying, I am spent a lot of years of my life in Kansas City, and I was in the 8th grade at James Bridger Junior High School in Independence, Missouri, when the Royals won the World Series in 1985. I've been a fan ever since, along with my brother Tracy, who now lives in Los Angeles. And we have just been ecstatic over the course of the last 2.5 weeks, and really this season as a whole. Pori takes the snap, throws to the left side, the far side, complete for the first down across the 40 to about the 37-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Well, if you're a Kansas City Royal fan, I know I'm not supporting any of the guard, but I'm a Baltimore Oriole fan, so you're welcome.
Yeah, well,
you're welcome.
It's been a long time coming, and so the San Francisco Giants winning last night in dramatic fashion, a great baseball game at AT&T Park there in the Bay. So the Royals and the Giants will face off, Kansas City and San Francisco, in the World Series. Game 1 will be 8 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday, the 21st, from Kansas City.
I think
handoff goes to, it's going to be a
series.
very exciting series as Matteo takes that handoff again and dives forward to about the 35-yard line. It's going to be a lot about pitching and a lot about fundamental baseball, I think. So not to drift sports on us, but the Fall Classic is, of course, an iconic event in American sports and one of my favorites for sure.
I think what'll be interesting, I think this will be one of the more higher-rated series of all time because of the fact that Kansas City has not been there in easily my lifetime. 1985, which gas was probably 25 cents a gallon.
No, it wasn't that cheap, but
Wasn't that cheap, pardon me. Yeah.
I'll give you 79 cents maybe.
Oh, jeez. You can't even get a Coca-Cola for that now. Come on, man.
Maybe Shane Ray can chime in from the studio and let us know what gas was in 1985.
Was Coke a nickel as well?
No. White Castles may have been a nickel, but I don't know. 2:35 left to go in the first half, 20-0, and there's been a little issue with the spot of the ball. The officials are trying to work that out. It's a little bit of a delay here. Having a discussion right now. The ball's spotted at the 35 of the Bulldogs. It's 4th down and 3, and that's where everything will stay, and they will wind the clock. 2:34, the clock running now. Play clock at 21, and now another whistle and a timeout called by Hamilton Southeastern.
What do you think HSC is going to do here? Obviously, they've had a great running game so far.
I got to tell you, it's 4th and 3. You're up 20-0. I think you take a shot. I'd take a shot to Chris Ford across the middle or streaking down one of the sidelines, at least on a slant or something of that nature.
Hey, let's thank another one of our sponsors, the Payroll Department. If you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. What about taxes, child support, auditing, Social Security? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. The Payroll Department Incorporated can help put your mind at ease where all these problems are concerned. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years. Call today at 852-2568 or stop by the Payroll Department Incorporated, 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg. From the XRB Weather Center, 58 degrees right now. Winds out of the southwest at 17 miles an hour. Gusts at 31 miles an hour. Thanks, Shane.
That wind has played a little bit of a factor on the passing game or lack of passing game by both teams tonight. Both of these teams are very run-based as a rule anyway, but that crosswind has done a couple things, given the running backs a lot of action and made everybody pretty cold, I believe, here in the stands. Compared to today, which is beautiful, sunny and almost 70 degrees, 68, 67, 68 degrees. Not the case tonight, but it is a nice fall evening. Pori out of the shotgun.
Whoop.
And a procedure penalty against Hamilton Southeastern.
85 for the Royals must have been getting the football in that play because he was ready to go.
Greg Miller was very excited about the prospects of streaking down the near sideline, and he is offside, so that'll make it 4th and 8. That will make them punt.
Yeah, the punt team's coming onto the field now, and then it will be a very lonely feeling for the Hamilton Southeastern Royals' Greg Miller. Oops.
But, Miller was a little anxious there. He definitely showed his cards.
I have an answer for you on the gas prices, by the way. After this punt, I'll tell you.
2:31 left to play, 20-0. Hamilton Southeastern leads it. They will kick, and another flag on the play. And I don't know what that would be for.
Here's your hint. Gas was cheaper then than it is now.
Well, I would imagine.
Here's a great question. How many times cheaper?
Well.
Oh, we've got a flag. The band has been flagged.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
For what?
It's a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty.
How can you flag the band?
The band is actually practicing behind the scoreboard.
They don't even realize it.
And they don't even know that they're not supposed to be practicing.
The band has been flagged.
Well,
the band goes silent, unfortunately. Wow, I've never seen this happen before.
Just when you think it's 20-0, you don't have anything to talk about. That happens.
So, Troy, I can honestly say that's the first time I've ever.
Well, everybody was set. The play clock's at 25, and they just threw the flags in the air, and the lead official looked very disgusted coming to the HSC sideline. So I thought it was a sideline penalty, and I couldn't figure out, well, what are you yelling about up 20-0? But it is a flag against the home band, and the punt is up, and it is a fair catch called for by Tyler Kurtz at the 16-yard line where he receives the kick. 2:24 left to play, 20-0 HSC, and Rob has a trivia question answer for us.
Okay, gas was $1.20 a gallon.
All right, not as cheap as we thought.
And stamps were 20 cents.
Stamps were 20 cents. And now stamps are what, like $8?
Yeah, it's they're at 44 cents a piece, I think.
Yeah. 2:24 left to play, 20-0. All Hamilton Southeastern. The Royals very much in control of this game offensively and defensively. The Bulldogs have had one relatively respectable drive, led by Akinrabadi and a couple nice receptions by Kurtz. Johnson dropping back, and the pass is complete to the near side, across the 20 to the 25, diving forward to about the 28-yard line. That's number 5, Carson Gill. And it is enough for a first down for the Bulldogs.
How do you flag the band?
I have never seen such a thing, but I will tell you this. I also, in all the games we broadcast, I've never seen the band play. The clock is still running. They want to get that fixed. As Gill did go out of bounds on the play. I've never seen the band just go over and start practicing and playing consistently. I mean, I don't know. Is that what they usually do here?
I'm trying to think in my memory. The band's really not a big deal unless they go at halftime. I'm good buddies, actually, believe it or not, with the drum major for the band, so I'll have to give him a Dikembe Mutombo finger wag. No, for him not to do that again.
Don't do that again. Interesting. HSC is a fantastic band, and they were just out there chirping and beating away.
They're in the state last year, for what it's worth. So
yeah. They're going to go.
I come back to my initial comment.
Yeah.
How does the band get an unsportsmanlike penalty?
I'm flabbergasted. 2:05 left to play. I think they want to set the clock at 2:17. There's some confusion up here in the booth. The clock operators are asking.
I mean, even when the Stanford game, they didn't flag the band for unsportsmanlike.
2:17 is what it's going to be, the clock running. Johnson out of the shotgun. Akinrabadi's alone back. Johnson's going to pass. Complete across the middle and brought down at about the 35-yard line. That is number 27 for the Bulldogs.
And I was just going to suggest this, and they're going to do it. No huddle to change the tempo up a little bit.
That's Cameron Martin, 5'10", 145, a sophomore wide receiver. And Johnson's going to throw it to Kurtz, and he overthrew him at midfield. Defended nicely on the play there by number 7, Ryan Brown, for the Royals. 1:50 left to play in the first half. HSE still leads at 20-0. 3 touchdowns by the running back, Matteo. The running game for the Royals firmly in control of the line of scrimmage tonight. The Bulldogs have had trouble getting things going. The Bulldogs Brownsburg looks very discouraged out there. There's not a lot of, not to be corny, but there's not a lot of pep in their step. It just doesn't seem like they're playing with a lot of enthusiasm. Johnson takes the snap, throws it complete to Kurtz on the near side. He's hit and driven to the ground. A great defensive play there by number 7, Ryan Brown, for HSE.
It has just been all Hamilton Southeastern all night on both sides of the football. And, again, it was almost like they knew where the play was going to go that time. Great intensity out of the secondary and a great hit. And it looks like the Bulldogs are going to go for it here, Troy.
Looks like Brownsburg is going to go. It's 4th and 3. The play clock is running, so I think they're going to.
Well, why wouldn't you go for it?
Why wouldn't you go for it? Unless you're going to call timeout with 1 second left and then punt the football and try and pin HSE deep, so they can't get anything going, and that's what they are going to do. Timeout, Brownsburg.
Dad was just showing me, not to cut you off there, but some pictures of the renovated Wrigley Field. The construction is in full swing.
I didn't know that so as soon as the season was over, they began. Nothing like working in construction in the north side of Chicago over the winter. So
now Shane chiming in, Shane Ray, XRB Radio Shane Ray, he says, quote, I seem to recall, now anything that begins with I seem to recall may not be correct.
Sure.
But I seem to recall you could still buy gas for 99 cents a gallon at certain times in 1990.
I think that had to be the fact. That's one of the things I would think in 85, there was probably a time you could get it for 79.9 or 89.
Well, here's the thing. I distinctly remember this. My dad won't. I remember sitting at the breakfast table. Bill Clinton was president, so this had to be in the late 90s. When gas went back over $1, and he said, remember this day, looking at the newspaper, because he said, you'll never see gas under $1 again, and we haven't. So that, I know at some point in the
we haven't seen under $2, for that matter.
Nope. Not in my lifetime, at least, but I'm only 18, so.
1:06 left to play in the first half. 20-0.
Were you born in 96?
June 24th, 1996. I was born in the last year the Cowboys won a Super Bowl.
The year before the Kent Herbeck-led Minnesota Twins beat the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series.
That's 86, Troy.
That's 86.
Oh, 87.
That's
yeah,
87.
You're a decade off, my friend.
Who won the series in 90?
You're a decade off.
That's awful.
96 was the Yankees, wasn't it? Yankees-Braves?
The punt is
I believe
received
it-
at
I
their
believe it
own
was.
30 by HSE across the 40-yard line, and that's where he's brought down, about the 42. Under a minute left to go in the first half. HSE leads at 20-0. Matteo, the running back for the Royals, with 3 touchdowns in the game, a missed extra point, a loss for the 20.
He was born in 1996.
So 1987 is when the Twins.
It was in
beat
the Twins with Ken
Cardinals.
Herbeck. Because
Oh.
86 was the Mets and the Red Sox.
Right.
Between your legs, Buckner. Between your legs, right?
Yep.
Unfortunately.
1986. The Bob Shirley on the mound for the Boston Red Sox.
That's right.
When all that happened.
Calvin Schiraldi, who later went to the Chicago Cubs.
Mookie Betts.
Pass is complete across the middle. That is number 2, Chris Ford.
I hope they appreciate all of our baseball crosstalk, by the way, because I'm really enjoying it.
Keeping it interesting. Under a minute, 47 seconds left to go as Ford gets out of bounds. The ball will be at the Brownsburg 48, 1st and 10 for HSE. Pori out of the shotgun, takes the snap. Looking downfield, he's going to throw. He's going for the touchdown. On the far side, it is off the hands of number 85. That pass was intended for number
Greg
85.
Miller.
Yeah, it is Greg Miller. He was defended on the play
Now,
by number 6 for Brownsburg, Victor Englima.
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 Now, those of you, this doesn't do any good for those of you watching or listening at home, but Shane Ray has just texted me a picture of gas from a Citgo somewhere for $1.08 in 1985.
Well, there you go.
So Shane Ray price and gas from 1985. That's how he's spending his Friday night.
Pori out of the shotgun. 38.6 on the clock. It takes a snap. He's going to throw again. HSE trying to make something happen to close out. That pass was intended for number 10, Kyle Schrank, the tight end. Tight end / wideout from the Royals.
I hate to ask this, I do not know how old of a gentleman Shane is, but was he a gas station attendant in roughly about 1984?
He was probably a disc jockey somewhere in 1984.
It was. Gas wasn't even as expensive enough then where you had to do like the pump watch or gas watch or
You know,
anything
you
like
could pay.
that.
You could pay cash. Like I still remember when
$5.
You know, like when I was in high school, you could
Yeah.
pay
Yeah.
fill up and pay cash. That wasn't that long ago.
Pori out of the shotgun, takes the snap. Looking downfield, they're going to try and pass again, and it is complete across the middle.
Let's face it, we were just more honest than today's teenagers.
Absolutely, that is complete to
Oh.
number 85, Greg Miller. One time in high school, I went to.
I'm listening to your great high school
I know
story.
Rob had to.
Dad just had a good point. He said when he was in high school, you could pay for gas with a change in your pocket.
How about that? That pass is complete again to the far side, and again it is complete to number 85, Greg Miller. So Greg Miller and Chris Ford have been chewing up the secondary of the Bulldogs. 19.4 as he gets out of bounds. Clock running. Pori will down the ball, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 from the Brownsburg 12. HSE trying to punch it in here to close the first half out.
You know, when the other team's band gets flagged for unsportsmanlike penalty, you say it's a good night for us. Things are going our way. That's not the case for Brownsburg.
You know, I wonder if there was a warning involved in that. The lead official, when he threw that flag, looked absolutely disgusted when he did it. I mean, he was shaking his head and just had his arms up in the air. So there must be a backstory. That pass is intended to the corner of the end zone, and what a catch for the touchdown. That's the guy we've been talking about, number 85, Greg Miller.
That was a great catch that time.
Great leaping catch. I believe he was defended by Lisman.
Rough night
And
to
that's
be
another
Brownsburg.
touchdown, 26-0. Closing seconds of the first half, the extra point coming. So the band gets penalized 15 yards while you have the football, and you are able to drive down, run your 2-minute drill, really run your minute drill with 1:06 on the clock left and score the touchdown. The extra point this time is up, and it is good. So 27-0, 12.6 seconds left to go in the half. The Bulldogs will take over on the kickoff when we come back. You're listening to Hoosier Crossroads Conference Football on XRBRadio.com and at AudioSportsOnline.com.
You're finally on your own, living in your own place, paying your bills, making your own decisions. When your decisions involve insurance and financial needs, it's nice to have a little help. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay. He knows that being on your own shouldn't feel like being alone. Visit State Farm agent Pete Fay at 431 East Northfield in Brownsburg. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by the way, I do want to point out about our good friend Pete Fay. He has been a huge, longtime supporter of Brownsburg Athletics on the radio. He was supporting Brownsburg Athletics on the radio all the way back when I was Caleb, an intern at WKLU. So now defunct and not in Brownsburg anymore. But Pete Fay's been a longtime supporter, great guy, and we love Pete. Thanks for all your support, Pete.
Well, with 12.6 left to go, and this being a 27-0, pretty much a blowout in the first half, we will look and see that the Indy Fuel have started a new era of professional hockey in Indianapolis tonight, and they have scored their first goal against the hated Fort Wayne Comets, trying to renew that rivalry. The Indy Fuel at the Pepsi Fairgrounds Coliseum tonight, they lead that game with a goal just now. Brice Beauce, which I'm butchering that name, scores the first goal in Indy Fuel history. They lead it 1-0.
By the way, upset alert. Carmel trails Lawrence Central at half, 13-7.
Wow.
That'll turn some things on there. Center Grove leads Cathedral 19-0. That game at the end of the first quarter.
We should go to one of those Fuel games.
Well, we definitely are. My son has been on me about it, and actually one of the assistant coaches, Jan Yass, is a friend of mine, friend of a friend, but also a friend of mine. And
this sounds made up.
It's not made up. It's not made up. His name is Jan Yass. His name it's spelled Jan space Jas.
And he's really your friend.
He is my friend.
That's what sounds made up.
Yeah, he's more of a friend of a very good friend of mine, but he is my friend. Yes.
Okay, all right. If I would ask him about you, he would know who you are.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Pike leads Lawrence North 17-7.
Avon over Noblesville 14-7.
Johnson is in trouble, scrambling, and there's going to be a holding penalty. So whatever he does here is going to come back. He throws it downfield, and it is out of bounds, an incomplete pass intended for Tyler Kurtz. There is a penalty on the field, and Hamilton Southeastern will have to decline this if they want to go to the locker room, unless it's a defensive holding penalty, which it is not. So it's holding against Brownsburg. HSE will decline. The clock expires on the first half. And at the end of the first half, from Royal Stadium at IU Health Field on the campus of Hamilton Southeastern High School in Fishers, Indiana, the Hamilton Southeastern Royals and their band lead the Brownsburg Bulldogs 27-0.
Hey, again, we do remind everybody that tonight is a big game for our friends in Avon. Win tonight, and they are the Hoosier Crossroads Conference champions. They do lead Noblesville 14-7. Brian Scott out there with the call of that one. So you can check out the Avon varsity football broadcast tonight if you want to. Of course, we want you to stay right here, but if you are interested in that, we do have that broadcast for you tonight. Hey, Panuni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg has something for everybody. Pizza with more toppings than you can count, including specialty pizzas. 5 different kinds of calzones, breadsticks, and cheese bread, and 2 kinds of dipping sauce. All made in-house with Panuni's own hand-tossed dough. And don't forget Panuni's Jumbo Wings with 12 kinds of sauce. Mention the XRB and get 10% off your order. Open Sunday through Thursday from 11 to 9. Friday and Saturday open till 11. Dine in, carry out, free delivery. Call Panuni's 826-3500. Panuni's Pizza and Wings, 1447 East Main Street in Brownsburg. By the way, the coolest thing about Panuni's, Troy, the owner's mother is the delivery woman.
I love that.
I love it.
Small business at work in Brownsburg, and we do thank all of our sponsors, Panuni and Pete Fay. I've been reading Pete Fay's name for 3 years.
Oh, it's great. We love Pete Fay. And he drives a red Bug because, State Farm, red.
Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Box It, Store It, Move It with Northfield Self-Storage and U-Haul in Brownsburg. We're here with storage space, packing supplies, and U-Haul trucks to keep you with any size move. Our ever-growing selection of packing supplies will help protect your belongings, and our secure storage units are a great place to store your items until you need them. All shapes, all sizes. Come see Northfield Self-Storage at 1530 West Northfield Drive, just south of Lowe's in Brownsburg. I got big news.
Talk to me.
I got a big event happening tomorrow.
Yeah? What do you got?
Well, as many people will know, for many years growing up as a child, I had a bulldog.
True.
Hoosier.
Yep.
And he was basically the town mascot. Went to all sorts of sporting events and would sit on the sidelines at the football games. And a great dog. And it has been 10 years since I've had a bulldog. Tomorrow that will change.
Oh, you're getting a bulldog.
I'm adopting a bulldog tomorrow.
I like it. What kind?
English bulldog.
Is it going to be Hoosier 2?
It will not be Hoosier 2. I floated that name, and it was vetoed.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. I now it all makes sense.
Yeah, Hoosier 2 was the initial, like on The Simpsons, Snowball 2.
Right. And you got to go with like Uga from the University of Georgia. That's their bulldog.
And there is a blue.
Like Uga 1 through 8.
Now I'm going to show you this bulldog, Troy, and tell me this is not like looking in a time warp here. The bulldog on the left is my new bulldog. The bulldog on the right is the old bulldog.
It looks like exactly the same.
It's almost the same dog.
Have you floated the name Dan the Bulldog, by the way, in honor of Yale?
I like the way Caleb thinks. We currently are having a disagreement on the middle name for the Bulldogs, but we have a first name picked out. I was very insistent on the first name.
Well, for those of you who are watching on audiosportsonline.com, you will be able to watch the most penalized band in Indiana high school athletics history tonight as the HSE Marching Royals take the field. They are an excellent band, and I ask their forgiveness for using them as a punchline, but they are excellent.
Do you care if I put that on Twitter?
Please do. They are an excellent performing band. However, they were penalized 15 yards. Well, they weren't. The football team was, for the band practicing before the end of the half while play was underway. So there you go. And the Marching Royals will entertain us. A 15-minute halftime tonight. So while the senior band members will all play, it is senior night here at Royal Stadium at IU Health Field.
Brian Petrates, our good friend, chiming in that Boiler would be a great name
Boiler
option.
Would
that
not
will not
be,
that will not happen.
Would not
in
be
this
a good. Would not
no,
be a
the
good
Bulldog
name.
does have a first name. While we continue to disagree on the middle name,
What's the first name?
the first name it will be Bruce.
It's Bruce.
Willis.
Bruce the Bulldog, in honor of the great and my hero, Bruce Springsteen.
Ah, excellent. I understand that. Very well said.
So Hoosier 2 is vetoed. Now I have gone with Ward.
Before you go to something else here. Springsteen, 1985.
Were you there?
I was not. I was too young. I was in the 8th grade. I mean,
Right.
but I like Born in the USA was the #1 song in the country, I
Right.
believe.
Yes.
And Bruce Springsteen sold out Arrowhead Stadium in
Now-
Kansas City for a concert. Almost 83 or 84,000 people for the concert.
That's amazing. Of course, Born in the USA, still considered, if not the greatest, one of the 2 or 3 greatest rock and roll tours of all time. It went on forever, a year and a half or whatever it was, and as you said, it was selling out the Cotton Bowl and Wembley Stadium, and as you said, the Arrowhead, which you and Dad were talking before the game. The cool thing about Kansas City, and you're a big Kansas City fan, is that Royal Stadium and the Chiefs Stadium is connected underground, so it's all one big facility.
When I lived in Kansas City, there was a huge effort, like it was almost imminent, that they were actually going to build a sliding dome that would have been so. And think of this today. This would be just a scar on the earth is what it would look like today. A large sliding roof that would sit in the middle. They could slide it to cover Arrowhead or slide it to cover Royal Stadium.
Wow.
At the time. And I even remember the conceptual drawings on the news in my head. And even in the 8th grade, 9th grade, or whatever, I thought that is a ridiculous idea.
Well,
and it never did come to fruition, thank goodness.
Think about how ugly that is.
Oh, it would be awful.
But it's something they would have come up with in the 80s.
Absolutely.
When they were, Three Rivers?
Yes. But a lot of the Royal Stadium now, Kauffman Field, named after the late owner and his wife, Ewing Kauffman and his wife, they a lot of renovations under then. They added seats to the outfield, took out the artificial turf, thank God, and put in natural grass. Your dad and I were actually talking before the game. Kansas City was known that the groundskeeper for Royal Stadium and Arrowhead was the same guy back in the day. And he was known as the best groundskeeper in the world. I mean, he was the best. And the Royal Stadium was artificial turf. So he planted grass, actually planted grass in the outfield.
Be careful with that.
Actually planted grass in the outfield next to the fountains in order to have some actual turf to manage at the stadium. And so that's the story about them. But both of them are beautiful facilities. Very happy for their fan base, very happy for the city, and very happy, of course, with people of San Francisco. They've just been doing this now 3 out of the last 5 years. Going to the World Series. That giant fan base is excellent, though, as well.
Well, and as I said, we lived in Kansas City for the first 2 years of my life, and my parents lived out there for several years, so it's a great fan base. And you love that the guy's first name is Ewing, named after one of the most famous
Ewing Kauffman.
Yeah, the most famous television family. He was probably named before the Ewing family, but that's great. Tremendous stadium. The waterfall is beautiful that they have out there. It's just a great fan base. They deserve it. And that's absolutely outstanding. So if you are just tuning in tonight, Rob Kendall, along with our play-by-play man, Troy Weimer, and Caleb Yarling doing the camera and providing some commentary, too, here tonight, as it's 27-0 Southeastern over the Bulldogs early on this one. And you are watching, for those of you watching on the internet, as you said, Troy, the most penalized band in the history of Indiana high school football.
That's correct. 9 minutes left to go on the halftime clock here. The HSE Marching Royals are performing in front of a decent crowd here tonight at Hamilton Southeastern. When we go to some of the other places, this is it's a very nice facility here at HSE, but is now one of the smaller facilities that you come across in compared to a Pike or Brownsburg or the Ben Davis or Avon.
Carmel for sure.
And
Carmel's
Carmel,
huge.
obviously, for sure, having one of the premier facilities in the state. But it's been a cold night. The Bulldog fans did not travel well. I will give you that. I will say that the drive from Brownsburg to Fishers at rush hour is not a treat at all. So people choosing to stay at home and tune in tonight to XRB Radio and AudioSportsOnline.com to take in all the action. 27-0, and the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, Caleb, have absolutely dominated this performance on the ground. 3 touchdowns by Matteo and 1 passing touchdown there by Pori to end the first half on a great catch over in the corner there by Greg Miller. But Brownsburg's really been non-existent. They haven't really shown up tonight.
It's been a clinic by Hamilton Southeastern for sure, as this team, after having a really down week against Cathedral, and a game that if they would have won this one and the Cathedral game would have put them above 500, which is this season, gentlemen, marks the first time they finished under 500 in over 10 years. So it's been a rough season for Hamilton Southeastern, but they got a lot of nice young talent coming up over the array. Real quick, 2 things I just want to put out. Number one, I figured out a middle name for your bulldog. I think maybe even your wife would like.
Well, my wife does not exist.
Oh,
But yes.
She's not going to like it.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead, Caleb.
The middle name for your bulldog, based upon they were going against very attractive actors, like with Bruce Butler, like the Butler University Bulldog, and like Gerald Butler.
Well, that is a suggestion. We will take that under advisement. I made a suggestion. It was quickly vetoed. Warrior.
Well, that Bruce Warrior Kendall.
You're right.
I mean, he's a dog, right?
Right.
I mean,
And I wanted to name him Warrior as his first name.
Yeah.
That was vetoed.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you didn't give him 3 names that all started with K. That's all I'm going to say.
So think about it. You got any good names at halftime or by the end of the broadcast? Let me know.
If you would like to, you can tweet name suggestions to myself at TWeimer, TWYMER 11, and you can tweet Mr. Kendall
Rob M. Kendall at Rob M. Kendall.
at Rob and M. Kendall, or you can tweet Shane Ray back in the studio at Radio Brownsburg, I believe. And we'll take name suggestions, and you can also tweet us with any suggestions that we can use to further poke at the HSE band for being penalized during the first half for 15 yards.
You know, I think we ought to take guesses on what caused the penalty. Because what could the band possibly have done?
Well, they were playing incessantly without stopping.
I think what the issue is that because they were playing so loud that people couldn't hear the refs, the refs' whistles
Right.
couldn't hear. By the way, real quick, speaking about the band, I hate to ask you guys have seen Star Wars, correct?
Yes.
I've never seen Star Wars. It looks like to me like the color guard is wearing like some kind of like Star Wars-esque garb, but I don't really want to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does a little bit.
does a
They
little
are
bit, yeah.
actually doing a movie theme, and based on our conversation about the Bulldogs' middle names, recapping the first half, and reliving 1985, I am not familiar with what the movie was. I missed the intro.
James Bond, I believe.
Could be. Yep. They are doing an excellent job.
This is great.
Did we receive a Twitter message?
Oh, John, our good friend John Rabel. You know, John's dad owns the car wash
Yes.
in Brownsburg.
Yes.
John, I took the picture and put it up of the band playing, and I plagiarized your quote.
Yes,
Is it plagiarizing if you admit that you took it?
No, I don't think
and
so.
you give
no.
me express written permission.
You have to give me what is that?
Royalty?
I have to have a footnote at
Oh,
the
that's
bottom
right,
of the
right.
page that gives me credit.
So I put the most penalized band in all of Indiana high school football, and John Rabel writes, "Are they refusing to yield as the players tried to take the field?"
Very
Out of the
nice.
Don McLean song. That's
Very
perfect.
nice. That's excellent.
We got to have something to have fun with tonight because this game is
Somebody's
basically
listening.
over.
Yeah,
I mean,
this game is the HSE fans have enjoyed it, and the HSE listeners have definitely enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it from the Hamilton Southeastern aspect of where Matteo has 3 rushing touchdowns and a touchdown pass from Pori to number 85, Greg Miller, on a fantastic catch in the far corner of the far side of the end zone, a leaping grab over the Brownsburg defender. Only a 1 missed extra point is the miscue in the first half for HSE. Otherwise, it would be 28-0. And I don't know, Rob, if I don't know if it's because we're closer here at Hamilton Southeastern, and we are. I'm not sure, Rob, if it's because we're closer here, because we are much closer
Yes.
to the field here.
Yes.
But the band is much louder
They
here
are.
than it is at other venues.
Just got to say hi to Coach Comer's dad. He does a wonderful job. He is the video man. He still climbs the steps.
Climbs the steps.
at
And
every game.
And at HSE, the only way to get upstairs here is through a probably 85-degree attic access stairs.
He's
There's
like
steps
the
to go upstairs.
mailman. Neither wind nor sleet nor snow.
I never thought about that. Being the video man on top of the press box, especially in some places like Pike and even at Brownsburg, that in a driving rainstorm would not be enjoyable at all.
The what is it? The Workman's Protection Division or whatever that's called. They would not allow that.
OSHA.
That's right. There we go.
Yeah, let that happen.
Yeah.
IOSHA, as it would be in Indiana.
Do we? I mean, you're a government man. Do we have that? Do we have? Is it IOSHA?
We do. IOSHA is the Indiana. How did we get on this subject?
Well, I don't know.
I'm telling you what.
If
If only it were 14 to 13 or something like that.
Well, we wouldn't be on this topic if
That's
it were
true.
14
That's
to
what I
13.
mean. Absolutely correct. I hope Shane's not thinking about firing us back at the studio.
Well, again, for those of you just tuning in tonight, we're at halftime. Rob Kendall along with Troy Weimer. Bulldogs trailed against the Royals 27-0 at a first half that was all Hamilton Southeastern Royals. And 4 touchdowns for them. It is senior night and a beautiful evening for mid-October. Certainly invite you to stick around for another exciting half of football here tonight. Let's take a moment to once again thank our friends at McDonald's, the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show. Taped every Wednesday from Brownsburg or Avon McDonald's, interviews with local coaches and student athletes. And this week, final coaches show of 2014 for the fall. We hope and assume we'll be back in the winter. But the final one at the Brownsburg location on Main Street right by Marsh. And so invite you to come out, and that's Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. It airs Fridays before football right here on xrbradio.com. We also remind you, speaking of xrbradio.com, we'll have that Bulldogs-Avon sectional matchup next Friday, 7 o'clock. Brian Scott, Dave Shelbourne, Chris Worley will have the call the action. And for those of you that are our Southeastern fans watching on our Southeastern page, Caleb and I will be at Fishers High School bringing you the Royals and Tigers.
You know, Rob, as when I'm not listening to XRB Radio or watching recaps on audiosportsonline.com, I drift over to 1070 The Fan for some sports talk.
Yeah.
And
you're a Dockage man.
I am. Grady and Big Joe.
Right.
I've been hosting their show from Hardee's.
Yes, I heard this
recently. So all I got to say is they got nothing on us.
Hey, we got we as I so often say, I used to have talent.
Yeah, right.
But this is another. It's hard to believe football season's coming to an end again.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And
you did a great job again this year.
Well, I feel like that it's one of the this is one of the great hobby pleasures that I take in my life, and I do appreciate you, Rob, and the audiosportsonline.com family, the xrbradio.com family, and Shane and everything else.
Now,
and I enjoy the radio and sports so much that I am salivating over basketball season. I have to tell you, I'm so ready for that. And football season is almost behind us. Section will start next weekend.
Now, apparently the home band cannot play while the opposing team has the ball.
And that is
did you find that in a code somewhere?
I believe.
You've heard that.
I believe that
Where?
Hamilton Southeastern had the ball.
No, Brownsburg had the ball.
No. Because they got penalized. Remember, they got penalized 15 yards and then drove for a touchdown. So maybe they just can't play at all. They obviously cannot play. You can't play music over the speakers. When the clock's running. As soon as the clock runs, it has to stop.
Huh.
We talked before. We're season ticket holders at Indiana for football, and the band at IU will play literally up until the millisecond that the ref winds his arm, and then they stop. So.
It seems hard to believe that football season's over.
It is. It does seem hard to believe, and it's been another great season, and we do thank the athletic staff, Kelly Wagner at Brownsburg, and Superintendent Snap, and Coach Comer and his staff, and all of our partners, Hamilton Southeastern, Avon, and all of our broadcast partners.
And our man
and
Worley.
And Chris Worley, who has left us and gone to the warmth of Las Vegas.
I thought you were going to say he's gone to a better place.
No, he has. which would be true, but probably would be misleading to some in the audience, especially his wife. So he's not gone to a better place, figuratively, I guess.
Well, you got to love Worley. He's a sportsman.
Worley is fantastic. I enjoy the 3-man booth that we get to do
Right.
with you and myself and Chris so much, and Shane back in the studio, and that's very, very enjoyable.
He
So,
goes to golf tournaments for a week.
yeah.
Like he's in Las Vegas at a golf
Yeah.
tournament.
Well, and while he's in Las Vegas, he's mourning the loss of the St. Louis Cardinals,
Right.
Which I'm
Right.
sure was both offensive and disturbing to him.
You
to
know,
lose that way, especially.
Well, you'll love this. My girlfriend is a huge.
1984 Van Halen Jump is on the radio,
yes.
is on the speakers, by the way.
I love how you have such a great grasp of where you were when these events occurred in your life. I mean, you're like a Harry Chapin song living out in front of me.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is a huge Cardinals fan. So we were like watching all the Cardinals games. And as a Cubs fan, I am jumping for joy when the Cardinals are losing. But I'm holding it in going, oh, that's too bad. Oh, that's terrible. Oh. Thankfully, she's that sort of fan that when they get down like a run, she's like, that's it.
Turn the channel.
Turn the channel.
That's gladly. But
oh, they're winning.
Yeah, turn it back. Sports has been so good. It's been so good to me in my life, and my son's very involved in athletics as well, even at 10 years old. And matter of fact, we were talking today about how, he's 10, he's in the 4th grade. It's time to start getting involved in some
I
more.
thought you were going to say getting a job.
Yeah, getting a job, getting his uniform at Wendy's. But to start playing in a system that's close to home and stuff like that. He'll be playing middle school basketball pretty soon. That'll be here before you know it. But just to be able to be involved in broadcasting high school sports in a great high school athletic system like the IHSA is here in Indiana. And always hear, and Dan Dockich talks a lot about this on his radio show as well. The best entertainment that you have in Indiana in the late summer and fall is high school football. It costs you $5 or less to get in the game. Hot dogs are $2, and you get 3 hours of entertainment and a team that you can root for and support your home community. So,
Yep, absolutely. And you get to see the band get penalized.
you get to see the band get penalized. So,
think about that. When the band ran on the field in the Stanford game, no
Yep.
one was penalized.
That is
the
correct.
whole band ran on the field.
Do you know, as we get ready to start for the third quarter, 27-0,
it
Hamilton
actually
Southeastern
interfered in
leads.
the tackle that would have saved the game.
So my memory of an outside force being penalized is the Orange Bowl. I don't know the year. Your dad may be able to help me. The Oklahoma Sooners and the Miami Hurricanes, and the Sooner buggy drove on the field with the horses after an Oklahoma touchdown. And since they weren't at home and it was a bowl game, they were flagged. They fired the cannons when Oklahoma scored. And Don Crickey says, well, you heard the cannon shots. I wonder how the horses are doing over there. So that's back when Don Crickey was really the man for college football
Don
broadcasting.
Crickey's kind of
at
out
the
of it
time.
now. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if you listen to Notre
Yeah.
Dame radio broadcasts
Yeah.
lately, but Crickey's about a minute behind the
Yeah,
play.
absolutely. Kickoff by Hamilton Southeastern is fielded. Oh, they're going to let him come out of the end zone. He had a foot in. It looks like that's Akron Rabati that's going to receive the kick, and he is down at the 15-yard
And
line.
Brownsburg now appealing that judgment because it cost him 5 yards.
Cost him 5 yards.
What is the official looking at there with that? I mean, that's his
his
only
left foot
job is to watch the guy in the end zone.
Well, I wonder if the ball may not have crossed the plane. His left foot was definitely in the end zone. I know the rule in IHSA is if the ball crosses the goal line, it is not returnable. So they will call it 1st and 10 from their own 17, 11:54 to play in the third quarter. The Bulldogs trail at 27-0. Thank all of you for sticking with us through our halftime conversation that admittedly was a bit personally entertaining. Akron Rabati takes the handoff, dives forward for a short gain. One thing we've not had in this game is a turnover yet, despite the 27-0 very unbalanced scoring in the first half. Neither team has turned the ball over.
Just got a text from Chris Worley.
I did too. Please send me a final score from BHS HSC in the Avon game. Thanks from Vegas. I told you, no matter where Worley goes, he's interested. So, Chris, we'll get that to you now. We do not have good news. We know you're a Brownsburg resident and fan for your home team Bulldogs. Akron Rabati takes the handoff again, and Same recipe, same result for the Bulldogs here in the second half.
Looks like HSE is substituting in Logan Holland, the junior left linebacker, excuse me.
And if you're Brownsburg, at what point in this game, if you don't come out and drive down the first couple times and score, do you just say, we're not getting anyone hurt for next week?
Right. Big game against Avon, the opening round of sectionals. So the two rivals, the Hendricks County rivals, draw each other in sectionals. Tyler Kurtz, the wide receiver to the near side. Johnson out of the shotgun. He's going to throw. Throws it to the far side, and it's complete. And going down, looked like he had a little bit of an open field to run there, was Michael Clare. It is a complete pass and enough for a first down for the Bulldogs.
And the Brownsburg will huddle here. They had a little bit of success there going out of that no huddle towards the end of the first half, but deciding to huddle up here. And Hunter Johnson will quickly bring the troops back to the line of scrimmage.
Johnson out of the shotgun. Achenarbodi's the lone back. Kurtz, the receiver to the near side. Handoff goes to Achenarbodi. He's wrapped up in the backfield, and for no gain, he may have lost a yard. He did. That'll bring up 2nd and 11. And that offensive line for the Bulldogs is getting no push whatsoever against HSE. The only time that Achenarbodi has had success is when he's cut back and come outside the tackles on a run. Those fans that did travel from Brownsburg on the visitor side, which is few, maybe about 75 to 100 people, they have stuck around. That pass is incomplete to the far side.
Who did Brownsburg draw
intended for Clare. What's that?
Who did Brownsburg draw for?
They will be at Avon on Friday night, next Friday night. So HSE draws Fishers, their rival, and the Bulldogs draw the Avon Orioles, their in-county rival as well.
It's pretty awesome. Actually.
Great football game earlier this year between Brownsburg and Avon. The Bulldogs capitalized on a game that really, a lot of people going in thought Avon could really dominate.
Yeah, it was a great performance by the Bulldogs, and we talked about a couple weeks ago kind of how the two teams have gone in separate directions since then. Avon lost, has not lost since. Brownsburg won, has not won since.
Brandon Peters, the quarterback for the Orioles. The pass is intended to the near side. To number 5, Carson Gill. It is thrown over his head and incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and 11 for the Bulldogs. They'll have to kick.
It's interesting for Brownsburg. You look at Hunter Johnson. Yes, he's young but very talented. Tokes Achenarbodi, Jr., very talented. And usually when you have these great skill position players, the team sort of falls in line. But the line play is so young that they've really struggled to protect these guys this year.
Brownsburg really missing that senior presence on their offensive and defensive line. The rugby-style kick, once again, up in the air, and a nice kick by Clare. It is fielded at the 35-yard line by HSE, coming back to the near side of the field, trying to go north and south, and he does, diving forward, and down at the 50 at midfield is number 32. That's Brock Burns for Hamilton Southeastern. So the Hamilton Southeastern Royals will take over at midfield, 9:34 left to go. In the third quarter, they are dominating this football game, 27-0. The Bulldogs defense looking a little disheartened. See if they can get a big stop here. A turnover would be huge to try and turn this tide. Time is definitely working against the Bulldogs. Pori in at quarterback, out of the shotgun. Matteo is the lone back. Matteo takes the snap, cross midfield, cuts diving forward to the 45. Gain of 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5. They're going to give him a gain of 6 on the play, make it 2nd and 4 from the 40. Well, they're going to mark it at the 45. It will be 2nd and 5 for HSE. $27-0. Royals lead it. 2nd and 5 from the Brownsburg 45. Pori takes the snap. Looking to throw. He's going to. And it is a little hand checking going on and no flag on the play. Pass was intended for number 10, Kyle Schrank.
How much do you think of that is the officials go, this game's over?
Yeah, it's 27-0. We're not throwing a flag there.
We're ready to go home.
Because if we do, it's going to be 35-0 here in a minute. That incompletion brings up 3rd and 5 from the Brownsburg 45. Hamilton Southeastern. Pori coming in from the sideline with the play.
You see that a lot in baseball. The umpire strike zone will get bigger when it's 8-0 versus 1-0.
Yep, and the colder it gets or the more rain there is.
Yes.
Pori out of the shotgun. Matteo.
Perfectly designed
screen
play.
pass to him. He's across the 40. Cuts out to the near side of the field. A big stiff arm. And he is down to the 30, and he's not even out of bounds yet.
That's a play, Troy, that screen, that when you see it on TV, college or NFL, you don't get the feel for it. But being above the stadium here, you see it develop where literally they're taunting those 3 Bulldog linemen to come at them. And you get the feeling there that's exactly what they did. And as soon as they did, boom, drop the ball off, and then it's a big gain. And it's really neat to see that in person because you don't get that feel for it, watching that on TV.
And the Bulldogs don't have an answer for that play or much any other plays that the HSE Royals have run tonight. 8:46 to go in the third. The Bulldogs trail the Royals 27-0. First and 10 for HSE from the Brownsburg 29. The pitch goes to Matteo across the 30, diving forward, and there's a flag that comes in late. And he is down, still on his feet. And the Bulldogs are having a heck of a time bringing Matteo to his knees. Looks like the holding penalty is probably going to go against Hamilton Southeastern. It will, and that will bring that play back and cost the Royals 10 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 20.
While we're giving credit, we got to give some credit to Dad. He's done a nice job on the monitoring this year, also
Fantastic.
on the spotting. He's done
Yep.
a great job. His services will be retained for next year.
Good. I think we should.
Are you guys going to arbitration with him?
We do not sign multi-year deals in this company.
And we look forward to seeing Dad at basketball as well.
He just comes to get in the games for
Exactly,
free.
right.
He's a thinker. The occasional free soda that comes with the press box.
8:39 left to go in the third quarter. 1st and 19 now after the holding penalty for HSE. Handoff goes to Matteo. He dives forward, puts his head down for a short gain of about 2 on the play. Speaking of concessions, I believe my son has single-handedly supported the Hamilton Southeastern athletic program tonight. He has
As everywhere else we go, this seems to happen.
He's had 2 sandwiches, cookies, popcorn, and some sort of nerd rope sweet and sour thing.
Everywhere we go, Ben seems to get those highly unhealthy
Dude,
nerd
those ropes are the best.
Yeah, those.
Oh man, those are my
They
favorite.
didn't have nerd ropes when I was a kid. We had nerds, but no rope. So
No,
we just had to
It's an
get them out of the
airhead.
cardboard box.
It's an airhead.
Oh, it was an airhead he was eating, not a nerd rope.
Yeah,
I want to give proper credit to the proper candy company.
Yeah, well, free advertising here.
Right.
You if you don't drop at least a Lincoln at a football game
exactly.
on Ben's concessions, you're usually a Jackson.
Exactly. That pass is complete across the middle by Pori. It is caught by number 30, Mario Campbell, at the 30-yard line.
Does he have one of those, like, you know how they have, like, frequent flyer rewards cards? Does he have those when he goes on remotes when you guys go to other stadiums? You just flash them and you get, like, a free bag of popcorn.
Frequent candy miles.
Yeah.
Awards points for high school athletic concessions.
Hey, man, that could be a $100 industry if we put our mind to it.
Exactly. 3rd down and 11 now for Hamilton Southeastern. Pori out of the shotgun. 1 wide receiver to the near side, 2 to the far. Matteo is the lone back. Pori takes the snap. Matteo's going to be blocking on this play as Pori looks to pass, and it is incomplete. Intended for number 2, Chris Ford. Defended nicely there by the Bulldogs. That's number 19, Noah Devney. 7:08 left to play. The clock stops on the incompletion. It's 4th and 11, HSE. Crowd remaining involved in the game as the student section. It's Pajama Night. It is Pajama Night and Burger King Crown Night here for the student section, I noticed, coming in.
Got to have our great senior crowns.
Senior night as well. All the senior athletes. The field goal try is up, and it is just short and off to the left. Wide left and a little short. 7:03 left to play in the third period. Hamilton Southeastern leads the Bulldogs 27-0.
Hey, let's thank a couple of our sponsors, including our friends at Hendricks Regional Health, where they say get back to what you love. Attend their next Joint Pain Talk Thursday, October 23rd, with orthopedic expert Shane Summers. Register at hendricks.org/talks. And Ivy Tech Community College offers a high-quality, high-value college education. Ivy Tech is the place to start a career or further your education. Even if you're planning to pursue a bachelor's degree, Ivy Tech's quality education is recognized statewide, so our credits transfer. Ivy Tech has a campus in Crawfordsville near I-74 at US 231. Complete your free application at ivytech.edu/apply now or call 888-IVY-LINE. Get started now on a brighter future at Ivy Tech.
First play from scrimmage for the Bulldogs after the missed field goal for HSE results in a Hunter Johnson sack for a loss of 4. Bring up a loss of 5 almost. Bring up 2nd and 15. It is a loss of 4.
Now, gentlemen, I have to ask you about something here real quick while we're getting everything set up. HSC's ahead 27 points. So obviously they're thrashing them. At one point in time, if you're Coach May, do you take out your starters so that way you can rest them for the sectional game next week?
I think you let
against
these kids
Fishers?
play the third quarter,
Right.
and then I would imagine we would see some substitutions if Brownsburg does not score on this drive. As Akhman Rabadi takes the snap and a flag flies in. I'm not sure if that's a holding penalty against Brownsburg or not. It was thrown basically at the shoulders of Akhman Rabadi as he went to the ground. I don't know if somebody got their hand on the face mask or if it's just it is a holding penalty. We'll look and see. Lead officials out. It is holding against the Bulldogs. That'll push them back 10 yards. So that will bring up 2nd and 24 for the Bulldogs, and that is a Cliff Notes version of their night so far as they trail 27-0. So to Caleb's point, we'll look and see if the Hamilton Southeastern coaching staff will get their starters out of the game at the beginning of the fourth quarter. A lot of time between now and then. 6:23 left to go in the third. Sectional play is this weekend. The Bulldogs are at Avon. Hamilton Southeastern will host. Are they hosting Fishers, Caleb, or are they at Fishers?
They're at Fishers
At
High School,
Fishers.
which will be great because they had the rivalry game here at HSC, and now let's see if HSC can bounce back and destroy Fishers at their home turf.
Tigers put a whooping on HSC earlier this year.
41 points, I believe they scored.
The Tigers with that really very impressive running game. It was on display that night especially. And
Uh-oh.
well, we got a safety.
Let's see if
And
they'll
let's
say
see if they call it.
There
It is.
Colin Miller.
So Hunter Johnson rolls to his left, and he is wrapped up immediately. Who's in on the safety there, Caleb? Who was that?
That is Colin Miller, that is his 5th sack through 2 games.
Colin Miller, Caleb said, 5 sacks in 2 games and a safety on that one. So 2 more points for the Royals. 29-0, 6:11 left to go in the third quarter.
I think the reason why I brought up that question is because 2 weeks ago, when HSC was playing Zionsville and HSC was putting a beating on them, they were on the 5-yard line with like 30 seconds to go, and interesting enough, HSC just kneeled the ball down.
Hey, a bit of news for the Avon fans. Zionsville leading Fishers 15-7 in the third quarter. So, of course, in order for Avon to win the conference, if they win, it doesn't matter. But if they were to both lose, if Fishers loses, they win too. But, of course, Avon would like to win. And
Was Avon
Fishers
down at half to
No,
Noblesville?
they were winning 14-7 at half.
14-7, okay.
And by the way, we want you to stay here, of course, but if you do want to flip over, Audio Sports Online with our friend Brian Scott has that broadcast tonight, so you can check that one out as well.
Brian's
a trained
great,
professional.
Great part of the XRB and Audio Sports Online team, broadcasting team.
He's highly trained, as Limbaugh would say.
Derek Tennant has taken in a touchdown from 12 yards out for his 2nd touchdown of the game. Avon now leads Noblesville 21-10. 3:02 left to go in the third quarter. So there's the update on that score. The Bulldogs will kick it off. It is a short kick received at the 40-yard line by the Royals and cutting across to midfield to the 40 of the Bulldogs and down to the 35, and he's out of bounds at about the 33-yard line.
Tri-West leads Crawfordsville 49-0 at half.
Matteo on the kick return. So not only is Matteo not come out of the game offensively, but he's returning kicks up 29-0.
They just seem like they're playing at a different speed than Brownsburg tonight.
I agree with that. Definitely a different intensity, but they looked faster and a little bit more nimble on the field. The Bulldogs have come in. They have not played with enthusiasm, defensively especially, since the beginning of this game.
HSC in formation. Chris Ford to the right side in motion. They're handing the ball off to Matteo up the middle.
Matteo
And it looks like it's going to go absolutely nowhere.
Matteo is hit at the line of scrimmage.
Well,
I'll take that back. I believe Curtis Goss was the guy who returned the kick last time. That was not Matteo. Goss is number 28, and the 23 kind of blended into the 28 there. I got the numbers mixed up.
just a game reset for everybody. 5:40 left to play in the third quarter. 29-0 is your score. The Royals with the lead in the ball. Rob Kendall is my name. Our play-by-play announcer is Troy Weimer. And Caleb Yarling on camera and commentary tonight.
5:28, the clock running. Pori will be under center. The wide receiver to the near side is Chris Ford. Pori's going to throw, and it's over. It's tipped up in the air, and it is caught by an HSE receiver. It'll go to number 87, Matt Klink, by virtue of a Brownsburg defender. And he is somebody from Brownsburg's down in the field. I did not see that
think he might have got the wind knocked out of him there, Troy. It's just been
Matt Klink got the ball on the deflection for HSE, so it is a reception, Pori to Klink. And the Brownsburg defender that made the tackle, whose number we cannot see, is down on the field. Training staff is with him.
HSE, by the way, is beginning to make, just to take out the lighthearted moment here for a second, HSE is now beginning to put in some of its second unit. Alec Jessup's in, number 84. Alec Jessup's 26. He's the backup running back, staying at 5'10". 86, I believe Ryan Echeverria is in for substitution. It's the big gentleman, number 95 for Brownsburg, who is down. And it looks like he was able to get to the sideline under his own power. So it looks like that'd take a lot, though, to knock the wind out of him, though.
Well, Pori is going to remain in the game at quarterback. Pike leads Lawrence North 31-7. That's early third quarter. The Red Devils rolling over a struggling Lawrence North program without quarterback Beau Trudeau, who broke his hand.
That was really sad to hear that.
Sad to see, as we saw Beau Trudeau in the season opener this year, threw 6 touchdown passes against the Bulldogs, and looked good doing it. A very speedy wide receiver core there. The pitch comes to the running back, and that may convince the staff from Hamilton Southeastern to get their starting running back, number 23, Aaron Matteo, out of the game, as he is taken down very awkwardly. Luckily, no injury. His leg kind of twisted around. He pops right back up.
Looks like they're going to keep him in.
He is going to stay in the game.
Well, for those of you who are just tuning in, the highlight of our game tonight came towards the end of the first half when the ban for Hamilton Southeastern was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. And we'll talk about that more here in just a second after this play.
Pori out of the shotgun. Matteo stays in the game. Matteo looked like he moved a little early. No flag. Pori looking to throw, looking. He's got a man wide open in the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown.
Chris Ford on the touchdown reception for Hamilton Southeastern.
He was open, and right as I said that, the Brownsburg defender closed on Ford, and it was a jump ball in the middle of the end zone, right on the A in the word Royals. And Chris Ford, number 2, goes up and gets it for a touchdown, and it's 35-0.
Yeah, and Ford, great play by him, but the offensive line for Hamilton Southeastern deserves a ton of credit. Great protection, all sorts of time back there, and that gave Ford the time he needed to get open. Great play all around by the Royals that time.
Pori had a ton of time, as you said, Rob, and all cylinders firing for Hamilton Southeastern, and the Brownsburg car will not start, folks. 4:04 left to play in the third quarter. It's 35-0 Hamilton Southeastern. The Bulldogs will get the ball when we come back after this. You're listening to Hoosier Crossroads Conference Football on XRBRadio.com and AudioSportsOnline.com.
Time to thank our good friend Bobby at Westside Plumbing. We love Bobby, big fan of the broadcast. And when plumbing problems arise, do you want a plumbing company with an impressive truck or fancy jingles? Of course not. You want your problem solved quickly and at an affordable price. At Westside Plumbing, we understand you want a plumber who's honest, respectful, and knows how to fix the problem. Westside Plumbing provides fast, professional plumbing service 7 days a week. When you invite Westside Plumbing into your home, be assured they'll be knowledgeable, timely, and will give your home the respect it deserves. Honesty, integrity, and respect. That's what you get when you call Westside Plumbing. 445-8399. That's 445-8399. Westside Plumbing, serving Brownsburg and all of Hendricks County at 445-8399.
4:04 left to play, third quarter, 36-0. The extra point is good by Hamilton Southeastern. They have dominated this football game from the opening drive, which they started at their own 35-yard line by virtue of a opening kickoff procedure penalty. The ball was kicked out of bounds by the Bulldogs. That drive, along with every drive pretty much since then, dominated by number 23, Aaron Matteo, who is racking up yards and touchdowns tonight. He has 3. But on the last 2 scores, the quarterback and receiving core for HSE's looked very good. A touchdown pass to Chris Ford as the kickoff is fielded at the goal line. It did not cross for the touchback. Brings it out once again, and he is down at the 15-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs will take over. So the first 3 touchdowns of the game come by virtue of Aaron Matteo's runs. The third, fourth touchdown of the game is a pass from Pori to number 85, Greg Miller, on the far side of the end zone, made a beautiful catch. And this last time, Chris Ford, who had another nice catch that came up short of a touchdown earlier in the game, gets the jump ball in the middle of the end zone from Pori with great protection from his offensive line. And a summary there, 36-0 HSE.
It's almost a perfect game for Hamilton Southeastern. It'll be interesting to talk to Scott May next week and get his thoughts on things.
Rolling to his left, and the pass is complete to Tyler Kurtz for a gain of about 8 on the play. He does not get out of bounds. The clock will run 3:44 and counting in the third quarter.
You had again, for those of you just tuning in, the highlight of the game and what everybody will probably talk about afterwards is not the score in this one, but the band getting flagged for Hamilton Southeastern for non-sportsmanlike conduct. And Troy, you had a pretty good description. Something must have happened there because that official looked like a parent, that has told their child repeatedly, do not do something.
The penalty was entertaining. The pandemonium that ensued afterwards to try and get the band to stop was more entertaining. As people were walking swiftly as the handoff goes that time to number 5, Carson Gill, for a short gain, and he did get the first down. So 1st and 10 Bulldogs.
Fishers and Zionsville tied at 15 in the fourth quarter.
By the way, you guys were talking about where something outside of the realm of football where causes him to get a penalty. I forgot about this one. A couple years ago, USC and UCLA, I don't remember if it was UCLA, but it was USC. There was a fan in the crowd who had a referee whistle and blew it and gave USC, I believe, a 15 or 20-yard penalty. I don't remember how long ago that was, but that's the only time in my history that I remember seeing that.
That raises a good question after this player. Passed by Johnson, tipped up, and nearly intercepted, incomplete. How responsible is the team for their quote-unquote fans?
Well, I do know in the NCAA, and I'm certain with the kind of strict regulations that the IHSA has, that the home field is responsible for conduct. And I don't know if it's on the back of your ticket or not, but the IHSA does have a fan conduct policy. We've seen it. I've never seen it really at a broadcast, but I've seen it in person at a basketball game before where a fan was removed from the stadium and a technical foul was assessed on the home team. So the home team is responsible for their own fans and their band, evidently. Pass incomplete to the far side of the field by Hunter Johnson.
Well, speaking of big games and big things, which we were talking about earlier, tomorrow night, huge college football game. Notre Dame traveling to Florida State. 2 against 5.
I got to tell you, I think, I don't know. It's going to be a tough play. The place is going to be crazy. Of course, a ton of controversy around the Florida State program right now, and really kind of a disappointing situation to see down there. And I am personally, as a college football fan and a sports fan, disappointed in how the athletic department at FSU has handled that. As Johnson's going to scramble for his life, he dives forward to the 30.
Well, you're what I call integrity fan.
Well, I mean, I get it.
You are. You're a man. You're a man of integrity.
I get it that W's are important. I mean, they're important to me as a fan. They're important to me when I played. They're important to all of us. But I just feel like that there's so much swirling around that program, and the way that they have handled their quarterback has not been admirable. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, and I'm sure they've played since then, but of course the last big Notre Dame Florida State football game I remember was when Notre Dame beat number 1 Florida State at Notre Dame. The year that Notre Dame should have won the national championship and then lost to Boston College the next week. That was in '93, maybe.
Probably so.
I think Charlie Ward was
the quarterback, won the Heisman Trophy, went on to have a great career with the New York Knicks.
That's right. Yes.
I hate to point this out. You're talking about integrity. What about earlier on in the year when Notre Dame had that huge reading controversy scandal? That the players weren't up to academic IQ.
But I think the difference is Notre Dame addressed the issue and kicked the guys off the team.
Yeah, exactly. Addressed it.
I mean, this autograph thing, and you can say the autograph rule is dumb, and you can say the kids should have the right to earn money while they're in college, and I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. But the fact is, the rules the rule on that, and this autograph signing with Winston. It's not looking good for him right now with all these sequentially numbered autographs showing up on JSA.
Right. Jake Hendershot has thrown a touchdown pass to his brother Peyton Hendershot. 13-yard strike, 5:46 left in the third quarter. Tri-West now leads Crawfordsville 56-0.
We have a new quarterback in for Hamilton Southeastern, number 11, making his varsity debut. Adam Mullet, 6'3", 160 pounds, and he's only only a sophomore. So this young sophomore core for Hamilton Southeastern showing to be more prevalent here in the later stages of the game.
So we had talked about it. Pori does come out of the game as we had thought would probably happen. Mullet checks in. He is the quarterback now. He's under center. And also change at running back now. I believe that's number 24, David Ceci.
David Ceci.
Ceci. David
The
Seitze.
T's, believe it or not, are silent.
I get that. I see that. So David Seitze is in at running back for Matteo. Matteo leaves tonight with 3 touchdowns. And we don't have his exact yardage, but it was a bunch.
I'd say close to 150 probably if I was going to guess tonight.
I would say so. Under a minute now in the third quarter, 36-0. In at quarterback, number 11, Adam Mullet. Mullet under center, takes the snap. The handoff goes to number 23, Seitze, and Seitze across the 40-yard line, diving forward to the 45, and another first down for Hamilton Southeastern. This is broadcast challenging is what I like to call this, Rob. Being intense about a first down when they're up 36-0.
Doesn't Hamilton Southeastern, doesn't Indiana football actually have a mercy rule?
I don't believe so. I have seen some. We just talked about one. Tri-West leads Crawfordsville in the third quarter, 56-0.
Oof. Maybe it's baseball I'm thinking of then. If so,
Baseball
I apologize.
does. Baseball does. Snap goes to Mullet. Handoff goes to Seitze. Seitze diving across and close to midfield.
And it's the end of the third quarter here at Fishers, Indiana. Although Fishers, Indiana is home of the Fishers Tigers. Some
talking
people
about
at
that
Fishers
earlier.
call this Geist. Some people call this Geist.
If the HSE fans would like us to not, because they were in Fishers, even though we are. So end of the third quarter, 36-0. Hamilton Southeastern leads Brownsburg. And there's been a dominant performance for the Hamilton Southeastern coaching staff and the members of their team tonight. The quarterback, Carter Pori, has been excellent. His receiving core has been very good. And the star of the game and our most valuable player to this point, and who will remain that way, I'm sure, is the running back for Hamilton Southeastern, number 23, Aaron Matteo.
20-20, Lawrence Central and Carmel in the third. Carmel undefeated, number 1. Hey, if you're a business owner with or without employees, you're probably wondering about your payroll. What about taxes, child support, auditing, Social Security? It can be a bit overwhelming, but we've got the answer for you. The Payroll Department Incorporated. Payroll Department Incorporated can help put your mind at ease where all these problems are concerned. Locally owned and operated for 20 years. Call today 852-2568 or stop by the Payroll Department Incorporated, 701 North Green Street in Brownsburg.
So Noblesville has intercepted an Avon pass. That's Brandon Peters, the quarterback, his second interception of the game for Avon. And the Millers are in business there at the Orioles' 26-yard line. They trail that game 21-0. And the snap is fumbled by the quarterback, Mullet. He does a nice job of going right to the turf and falling on it.
Interesting thing to think about. You're talking about Aaron Matteo obviously being the MVP, but we should not, on the defensive end of things, discount Colin Miller, who's been an absolute MVP on the defensive side with 2 sacks and a safety. Not very often you hear a safety happening in high school football, so definitely cannot discount his fantastic efforts tonight.
Another score of some interest, Rob and Caleb. St. Xavier out of Cincinnati has traveled, or they are playing Warren Central tonight, and they lead Warren Central 23-14. That game's early in the fourth quarter.
Now, do those games, as there's the toss to David Seitze, looks like it's going to be good enough for close to a first down, actually, maybe fourth down and 1 or 2. My question is, for high schools that play out-of-state teams, like when Cathedral played the team from Kentucky,
Louisville.
Does that count on their schedule? How does that work?
Counts in their overall record, I'm sure. I do not believe that it counts in their, obviously doesn't, I don't know. I think it does count in their overall record. It has to.
I've always wondered why, there's so many talented high schools in this greater Indianapolis area, or, maybe even northern Indiana, like Fort Wayne Snyder, and yet you have to travel to Louisville, to Cincinnati to face top-tier,
Right.
Louisville and Ohio. Louisville's not really known for its high school football players, but Ohio's an entirely different entity, though, obviously. So, I don't know, just some food for thought here in this 36-0 whooping.
Holding penalty against Hamilton Southeastern moves them back. It'll be 3rd and 14 from their own 41. Mullet is the quarterback out of the shotgun, takes the snap, looking to throw downfield, and he will, and it is almost picked off.
Great defense by the Bulldogs secondary that
Number
time.
6, Victor Englima.
Good job.
Thank you. I've called him Englima for quite a while. which I'm sure he may answer to. It's not the first time his name's been mispronounced. However, it
He's
is
really played a
incorrect.
nice game over there,
Yeah,
though,
he
tonight.
really has. 10:51 left to go in the game, 36-0 on a chilly and windy night in Fishers, Indiana, at Hamilton Southeastern High School.
Dad's really guarding the door there.
He is.
Those kids keep trying to get in the
The
door.
punt bounces at the 10-yard line and goes out of bounds at about the 12. So that's where Brownsburg will take over. 10:41 left to go in the game. Hamilton Southeastern leads the Bulldogs 36-0.
Hey, let's thank our friends at Panooni's Pizza and Wings in Brownsburg. Has something for everybody, and you don't even have to leave home. Call 286-3500, 286-3500 for free delivery to Pittsboro, Claremont, North Avon, and all of Brownsburg. And it's the owner's mother that delivers the pizzas. Special pizza, calzones, breadsticks, and cheese bread, all made in-house with Panooni's own hand-tossed dough. Not to mention Panooni's jumbo wings. Tell them you heard it from XRB and get 10% off your order. Finish the play here, Troy, and then I'll finish the ad.
Johnson to Akin Rabadi, who remains in the game, diving forward for a gain of about 6 or 7. Going to call it a gain of 6.
All right, and you can check out the Facebook page for Panooni's for specials. They're open Sunday through Thursday from 11 to 9. Friday and Saturday open till 11. Locally owned Panooni's Pizza and Wings on 1447 East Main in Brownsburg. And don't forget, the owner's mother is the delivery girl.
I got to tell you, I am shocked that the starters are in offensively, from Tyler Kurtz to Akin Rabadi to Hunter Johnson, the quarterback for the Bulldogs. But they are, and that is passes complete to Kurtz. No, the handoff goes to Akin Rabadi across the far side, short of the first down. The ball will be at the 22-yard line of the Bulldogs, 3rd down and 1.
So I look up online, this Panooni's, I actually originally butchered the spelling, has a Y at the end. 5-star rating on Yelp, 23 ratings, and people are saying literally there's nothing under a 4-star rating. Awesome pizza, according to Nancy V. Awesome cheese bread. Great fast pickup service, and very close to Lucas Oil Raceway.
It's great. We
All
had
those
that
things
with,
are true.
with that pizza eating contest for the town that Grant, the town manager, and the Pittsboro town manager were involved in. That was great. I'm surprised anybody got out of it alive. That pizza eating contest. That was. They've got the big noonie. I don't know what it is, like a 50-inch pizza or
Wow.
something like that.
I love pizza.
And it's great.
Yeah.
And it's something like I think they got one of those things where if you can eat in a certain amount of time, it's free. But
Is
I mean,
that random? I just said I love pizza.
no, I think it's great.
in the middle of a pizza promotion. 9-10.
I don't know that for sure, but I thought they had some sort of thing for a while where if you ate it, it was free. Maybe they still do. Don't. Somebody can let me know on that.
In my era, we have like 3 different eras here. There's me, the oldest era, then you, and then Caleb.
It's like the Three Bears.
Yeah, exactly. Well, your dad would be the era past me, but nonetheless, yeah. The big Kahuna used to be a pizza place on the south side on Madison Avenue, north of 31 there, and they had the Big Kahuna, which was I think it was 50 inches, a 50-inch pizza.
Wow.
And it was not just you. I think you could have a 4-man team, and you had to eat it. And if you ate it, you got it free, and you got your picture taken and all that stuff.
Now,
And,
how much pizza was eaten at this competition, by the
Well,
way?
these were these two big noonies, and I want to say they're 50-inch pizzas, and it was the town manager and the assistant town manager for Brownsburg against the town manager and I believe the town council president for Pittsboro, and they had whatever it was, 30 minutes or whatever. Whoever ate the most won, and they both almost got through the whole thing. It was on the Fox 59 News.
It
That
was,
It
yeah.
was cool. Panooni's a great local merchant, great local sponsor, great food. And like I said, Troy, maybe I'm
Johnson's going to pass.
Oh,
it. Tyler
good catch.
Kurtz with a great catch over the shoulder, and he's down at the Hamilton Southeastern 43-yard line.
call me old-fashioned, but I love the fact that the owner's mother is the delivery gal.
That is fantastic. Well, it's a family-owned small business. So,
And Ian, the owner, went to Brownsburg High School. Brownsburg guy.
Nice catch, by the way. Not to disregard the greatness of pizza at all, but that was a fantastic over-the-shoulder
You
catch.
just can't go wrong with pizza, though.
No,
That's
you
why you
really
love
can't.
it. I mean, you can
yeah,
do pretty
of
much
all
anything.
the things I've had bad in my life, I've had very little bad pizza. Right?
As we have a
I've
time
had
out
bad
here for
fish. I've had bad
bad spaghetti. I've had bad
Yeah.
spaghetti before somehow.
bad lasagna.
Yeah, and it's one of those things.
I've even
where,
had a bad cheeseburger. That's
Yeah.
hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
But you cannot go wrong with Panooni's because you can get whatever you want on it.
Right?
I mean, you could just get a simple pepperoni. You could
Yep.
get multiple toppings. You could
I'm a
The
fan
anchovy.
of double pepperoni because Rarely does a pizza place put enough pepperoni on their.
You
food.
are, you know what? All you are also great at. You are also great at going out in groups and sneaking out before the bill shows up.
Did I do that? I did.
You
that.
did do that last time.
I did.
Dunnigan's comment was, he did that last time we hung out.
Did I really? That was so rude of me. What was I doing? And the funny thing about that is the Bulldogs continue to trail 36-0 here to Hamilton Southeastern. I didn't know I did it till you just said something. I literally just dropped a smoke bomb and got up and left. There's like 10, 12 people at a table having a great night, and I go and pull a stunt like that. So let me know how much money I owe you and Dunnigan.
Oh. You know what? I think you made enough money up for them by promoting Panooni's for about a quarter and a half.
Unfortunately,
so.
it wasn't at Panooni's, but in at quarterback now is the sophomore, number 13, Matt Copeland. He's 5'11", 160 pounds.
If you see a brown mark on a seat, now you know where it came from, I
Yeah.
guess.
And the at running back, I believe, is Carson Gill is going to get some carries now, as Akin Rabadi and Hunter Johnson have left the game. Yeah, I didn't even realize. You're right. I left, and I ordered the pizzas. That's the thing about it that's funny. So, whoever's listening, if you're still listening to this 36-0 game, I know Shane, you're listening. I'm not a criminal, or I'm not even a bad friend. I'm just a little forgetful sometimes. I had to go, right? I mean, it's time to go. I got to go. See you guys. I got to go.
Multiple people. Where did he go? I think
You
he
never
left.
even said anything. Like, you didn't text me or call me and let me know that.
No,
That was
we-
like 3 weeks ago. That's hilarious. It's hilarious to us. It may not be to you people listening, but at this point, it's more entertaining than the game.
Troy has picked up his fair share of tabs over the years.
Wow.
It's not that big a deal.
Look, I'll say I'll owe you and Dunnigan, but that's it.
Yeah,
Nobody else is
that's
getting
it.
anything. Oh, and Worley. Worley was there.
Yeah.
I owe Worley too. 6:27, the clock running, 36-0. In at quarterback for the Bulldogs is number 13, Matt Copeland. Copeland's going to pass the football. It is complete over the middle. That is caught by number 27. That is Cameron Martin, 5'10", 145, the sophomore wide receiver.
Well, one thing
Gain
you
of-
say about Brownsburg is next year they should be better.
Well, yes. And you know what? I will say this. We knew coming into this year, although last year was a little disappointing, I don't think they quite got to where we wanted to be. Was the tough sectional loss last year
at Pike,
At Pike, a very tough sectional loss last year.
where Marcus Fredwell was out there. I think you were on vacation.
I was. A sectional loss the year before that on the last play of the game.
They were undefeated.
They were undefeated. And we knew with the loss of players like Dutra and some senior leadership that we were going to have some problems this year when it came. You know, and it looks like obviously tonight they're going to end the season at 3-6. They're going to go into sectional play with a .333 winning percentage essentially.
Timeout,
And,
by the way, from HSC.
Let's, as I do call this timeout, let's thank our friends at Northfield Self Storage. Need a U-Haul? Think Northfield Self Storage. Need a storage unit? Think Northfield Self Storage. Need packing supplies? Come see Northfield Self Storage at 1530 West Northfield Road in Brownsburg. Wrapping paper, boxes, mattresses, bags, tape, rope, dish protectors, just to name a few. And that's naming quite a few. And they got a lot more. Several different size storage units, and U-Haul trucks will help you get things moved. Open 7 days a week just south of Lowe's in Brownsburg. We are Northfield Self Storage.
5:41 to go.
Carmel and Lawrence Central are still tied at 20 late in the fourth quarter.
Ball is handed off by Mullet to the running back that is now in the game, David Seetzy, and he drives forward for a gain of about 4 on the play.
Hey, again, we do want to remind everybody, whether you are a Brownsburg fan or a Hamilton Southeastern fan watching tonight's broadcast, we will have both of these teams coming up for you next Friday night. Southeastern travels to Fishers. Caleb and I will be out there with that one. And Brownsburg heads to Avon. Brian Scott, Chris Worley, Dave Shelbourne will have the call of that one. We'll also have Plainfield for you if you're a Plainfield fan, too.
Derek Lucas has returned to kick 81 yards for the Tri-West Bruins. They now lead Crawfordsville 63-7.
Wow. Now, didn't for years Tri-West against Danville? Wasn't that
was
the
a big
helmet
rivalry,
game?
and I don't believe they're in the same conference anymore.
Yeah,
are
wasn't
they?
that helmet game? They
Yeah.
played for a helmet.
A helmet.
Like it was it was whoever won, like the Oak and Bucket game, got the helmet.
Were they just like going through like the equipment closet, and like, oh, let's have a game over a helmet?
I don't know what the story was with that, but that was a huge rivalry for years, and I don't know if they're still on each other's schedule or not.
I believe they are still on the same schedule.
But I thought they always ended the year. That was their, Purdue IU game. Whoop.
Oh, that's offsides on number 77 for Brownsburg.
So the Bulldogs jump. A little fatigue setting in. That's Jake Trout, 6'5", 210, the senior defensive lineman for the Bulldogs, who was offsides. So that, by virtue of the penalty, will give Hamilton Southeastern a first down.
Just kind of an update here. If you're just joining us, HSE's dominating. That's really, if you want to summarize the game in about 3 words, be a simpleton as far as words go, that's basically about the best way to say it is. HSC got 5 yards and the 1st and 10 from the looks of it. It looked like they're getting ready here with some of these second unit players looking to make an impact next year for these Royals.
By the way, our buddy Bart Doan was on Dan Dockich today.
Listen to him. Had a lot of good things to say. I'm going to struggle. Maybe you can help me, Rob, but Bart's website is studentsec, I believe, .com or .net.
Let's see what he's got linked up to on his Facebook page. Let's see. Oh, this is actually, if you head to 1070thefan.com, you can check out the podcast of Bart's interview today. Bart wrote for the Hendricks County Flyer for a long time. He's a big college football guy, has as you said, a website.
Big New England Patriots fan, big fan of the Detroit.
Yes. I think he's from Michigan.
He's from Michigan, big Michigan football fan. He's having a very disappointing season there.
And my heart goes out to him.
Yeah. Doan's one of the good guys.
Yeah, Doan's a great guy.
We'll see if we can find out where
get you
his blog and writing his website address here.
Carmel scores late, 27-20 versus Lawrence Central. Oh, our good friend Brian Petrade's filling us in here. Tri-West and Danville are still both in the Sagamore Conference, and they play for the famous Wilhelm. I think that might be a typo, but they do play for the famous helmet. I think he is Wilhelm, I think is what it is. So thanks, Brian.
The Wilhelm helmet, maybe.
Yeah, they play for the. They still play for the helmet. That's the point. It's like half Tri-West, half Danville. So thank you, Brian. We appreciate
Mullet
that.
with the handoff and gives the ball off to number 24, David Chichi, and he is down to about the 32-yard line of the Bulldogs. First and 10 for HSE.
Can we all just admit, though, no matter how we feel about the changes in high school football, that we miss the basketball sectionals and single-class basketball? Can we all just admit that?
Absolutely. One of the more disappointing things that have happened in IHSA sports in the last 20 years, of course, would be the switch to a multi-class basketball sectional and state championship. You have your fans out there. I have a good friend who won a state championship at Speedway. He says to this day it would have never happened if they had been in the,
But does he feel
class.
good about it?
He feels good about it. I mean, at the end of the same breath, would have liked to have had a shot at Brebeuf, who won the state championship that year. But just didn't turn out that way. That's just not how it's set up. So, but I will say this, even though we're not selling out the RCA Dome for basketball like we did when Damon Bailey was in there, it was still very good crowds for the state championship Final Four at Bankers Life.
Hey, here's a fun stat that we were talking about Notre Dame and Notre Dame and Danville, Notre Dame and Florida State.
That would be a very good
Notre
game.
Dame is unbeaten, 4-0-2 in 6 regular season meetings with the defending national champions when entering that game undefeated/tied. That's from ESPN stats and
Well,
info.
there you go. There you go.
So we would take a tie. I would take a tie tomorrow.
Take a tie.
Do they even have ties in college football anymore?
They do.
Do they? No.
No, they don't. No, because you play the overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I start.
So we can't take a tie.
No
that
ties
had to
to
be
it.
back during the Galloping Ghosts and the Four Horsemen.
The Bengals and the was it the Titans? No, Bengals and the
and
Panthers.
Panthers.
Titan last. How do you tie in the NFL anymore? I don't understand that. It's just crazy.
And how do you miss a 36-yard field goal from the middle of the field?
Yeah. Well, and you go back in.
I think
and
their band interfered.
Well said. Bart Doan, you can meet at the student section is the name of his blog. The student section. So if you just want to Google Bart Doan, the student section, our good friend Bart Doan sports enthusiast and writer extraordinaire. Always has good commentary, and he's a great guy beyond all that. You can reach him there and check out on the latest sporting news. Under 20 seconds, the clock will expire. We will not have another play from scrimmage, as there is a second differential in favor of the game clock. The teams are on the field. They're dumping out the water coolers. That'll show the end of our game, folks, tonight. And Hamilton Southeastern has dominated from the opening snap. They win it 36-0, and dominating performance as we go into sectional week. The Royals will finish the regular season at 4-5, and the Bulldogs will drop to 3-6. Rob?
Yeah, closing thoughts for tonight's game. Again, want to thank Caleb for stepping up tonight on the camera. Great job, good job on the commentary. Troy, another excellent job. We thank you for another great year of being the voice of the Bulldogs, and certainly appreciate that. Appreciate Chris Worley during the regular season. You'll hear him next week. And thanks Shane Ray back in the XRB radio studios. And as we wrap up our regular season tonight, I want to thank all of those of you at home who have watched throughout the year. And I've also listened on the Brownsburg side on xrbradio.com, all of our Hamilton Southeastern fans who have listened and watched on Audio Sports Online. We remind you that whether you are a Brownsburg or Hamilton Southeastern fan, we will have the broadcast next week. Hamilton Southeastern heads to Fishers. Brownsburg heads to Avon. So final score tonight is 36-0. Hamilton Southeastern takes it over Brownsburg. They end the year at a record of 4-5. Brownsburg falls to 3-6. For Caleb and Troy, I'm Rob Kendall saying have yourself a great evening. We'll see you next week on AudioSportsOnline.com.